All right, we back. It's all good. Everybody has finished their shopping. When last we left off their brave adventures, they'd broke into Kendrick's hidden secret infinite consortium vault, funnily enough, and purchased a whole bunch of cool stuff. And then what?
I think we have to go back to Aziz's temple.
Cool.
Um, that was the last in terms of checking on the key. I think we also wanted to leave the other key with Aziz, unless someone was thinking of something else. Unless we
We
want to
could
leave
leave it with disease, or we could leave it in the vault.
Yeah.
Either or.
I don't know which one would be safer. I defer to you.
I would put it in the vault, personally.
Solandra, you're a little torn. Because, the vault has impressive magical defenses, but if those defenses get breached, the consortium isn't going to lift a finger to do anything to stop it. On the flip side, you're not sure exactly how secure Aziz's temple is, but you know that if anyone came to his temple to try to fuck with his shit, your shit, or his students, there would be a reckoning.
Well, the major limitation that we have with the vault is us. Unfortunately, as powerful as the vault is, anyone who can go through our memories and our mind and get that information can get access to the vault. So we know the Chosen have that ability, and that will be the downside of this, is that it's secure from anyone who can't get into our heads.
Okay.
I mean, that would be a fair assumption, right?
That's not an unfair assumption. If someone can figure out the password and the trigger mechanisms, and all that requires is... It only requires a simple mind rape spell. Just one of the most vile spells ever invented to be cast on you, but there is no doubt in your mind that if your enemies have access to that spell, oh, they will cast it.
So one thing we could do is, well, at least once the key is decontaminated, my key is decontaminated, Clementine could do the same thing that she did with her key. Bury it down deep in under Aziz's temple, where it's doubly protected.
That's not a bad idea, and if the Chosen see that one of the keys is hidden in the temple, then they won't find the one that's hidden beneath it.
They'll have to contend with Bokab and Aziz. At least as far as Aziz has told me, is that anyone who attempts to violate the temple might lose all ability to access magic. So that might not go over well with the Chosen. So that's the reason why they've been treading gently with him so far.
Wait, whose temple?
A deity called Bokab.
What do they look like?
I'm not really that. If I recall, it's a female deity. I'll refer to my voluminous.
Go knowledge religion.
10 plus 28.
28. Yeah, it's a lady wizard, very fond of purples and greens. She is, I don't want to say obsessed with arcane knowledge, but she has a very fond enjoyment of arcane knowledge, as opposed to Weejoss, who is totally obsessed. She loves that shit. And Vecna, who is quite possibly one of the most despicable beings on the planet. I'm sorry, the most despicable beings, ever. He's not
I think I might have met her.
Was Whisper involved in this?
Yes. I don't know why you have to ask at this point. was, she wasn't exactly nice, but she was very interesting. I think you'd like her.
She didn't smite you right away.
Mm-mm.
That's
No, she
nice.
gave me tea. It was not very good tea.
It wasn't very good. It was way too powerful. She's not used to guests.
It was spiked with Narcan to make you go away.
Damn, all these things are not in my hero lab, which is annoying. I bought a bunch of items that I cannot post yet.
Ah.
So I go in and make some
So do you guys go back to the material plane using the music box and walk to Aziz's temple?
Yes.
Alright. It's 2 days.
Fly when we can.
Right. So it's 2 days. Oh, right. That cuts off like 25% or whatever. So it takes a day and a half to get there. You reach there by nightfall-ish. The doors are closed, and there are, guards posted. They'll obviously let you in. It's not a matter of how do we get in. It's a matter of hello, it's us. We're here. But the doors are to be closed after dark, just
Oops.
because you never know what secret midnight beastie might be around. Oh no, direwolves attacked the fucking university. Quick, shoot them with crossbow bolts.
Riddle them. Clem waves to the guards. Hello.
They're mostly humans, half-orcs, the occasional half-elf. There's a goblin and a hobgoblin up there who are chilling out playing cards. But not much to comment on. Just a couple of level 1 warrior schmoes with level armor, crossbows, and dreams of something greater.
I like them.
She's a sucker for any old half-orc.
She sees
Sorry, Rival.
snaggle teeth and she's just all over it.
Have we established what Clementine is? There's been a lot of crushes.
Have we established
sure-
that she has a type?
Yes, women and scary men.
Got it.
Well, it did have an impact on the last off-screen story. I don't know if you guys read it, but
I did.
yes. Why Rival goes, "Why are you touching me weird?"
She just touched his face. Don't take it out of context.
You caressed his cheek tenderly, and he didn't know what to make of it.
It's like, oh shit, intimacy.
Abort!
Abort!
Abort the mission.
Abort! Delete System 32. Anyway.
More like System 34.
So do you guys go to Aziz's room? What are you guys doing? What's the plan?
I'll go to his work and see how the work is going on the key.
Who wants to eat?
Oh, yes, food.
There's not much available in the commissary at this time of night, but like you can make yourself like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. Something similar. Like there are some fruit available, and then there are some nocturnal denizens. There is one lone Dampier chilling with an orc. You were just like, hey man, do you sleep during the day? And they're like, yup. Then you're awake all night? Yup. Oh man, compelling.
Where's that fruit hole?
No, it's just fruit and an okay sign.
Closest I got is a kiwi.
Delicious.
Anyway. So, Salandra, you go to Aziz's quarters.
Oh, and by the way, as soon as I got the Ring of Arcane Master, I charged it with some of my my arcane pool.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You catch Aziz doing. He's got a book in front of him and he's checking it out. And he turns up to you as you enter.
How's work on the key?
He opens up a drawer, takes the bizarre device out from it, places it on his desk, and says, "It should be fine now."
Wonderful.
There was a lot of negative energy in that thing.
Yeah, I must have been sucking it up for centuries.
And what happens when you have a clogged drain?
Well, now it just becomes a matter of where to keep it securely. So, I think we're ready to take the plunges. I'm not happy about it, but I think it's time. We don't have much time to go.
Good luck. I'm
So,
sorry, I can't offer you anything more than that.
So we have the keys. We have another sort of key that we'd like to secure. The music box. Any place within the temple that you'd recommend?
He gestures to his office. This will be the safest place here.
What about from random students or strangers wandering in? By the way, did Tori ever show up here?
Do you ask him?
I'm asking. I asked Aziz that just now.
No, I haven't seen him in months.
Well, I told him to come here because he's going to have. I hope he doesn't decide to do something stupid like try to take over Kendrick's former kingdom.
Salandra, you know damn well he's going to do something stupid. You'd have to pull him by the ear and drag him here if you wanted him to do what you wanted.
He could make a pretty freaking amazing spellcaster if he just did this instead of wasting his fucking time on trying to be king of Shit Mountain.
He could. Unfortunately, he's a scoundrel.
I know. Well, we cleared the way for him. Stark is toast, literally, and a fair amount of his men are died. So, something is. I hope Tori didn't die, but I have a bad feeling that if he lives, he's going to become the type of person who someone's going to have to put down one of these days. It's fucking miserable. All right. Any last minute advice? Anything we can do to sort of up our chances? Do you know what we're going to? Do you know what we're expecting up there?
He licks his lips and his head cocks to the side a bit, and he just says, "Be polite."
Fuck, I'll just keep my mouth shut, probably.
Bite your tongue if you must.
Boy. Maybe that's what I should have done. Is I should have spent my money on on upping my diplomacy through the circlet because Grub can't do it. Oh, too late.
Wait, does the circlet already give you a bonus to diplomacy?
What was that?
Does the circlet give you a bonus to diplomacy?
It does not because Grub has no diplomacy skill.
Oh, yep. Fair point. He can't help you with that because he doesn't know how.
Yep. So I could have had the consortium add that one in, but didn't think of it.
Too late now.
I mean, we do have the music box.
Yep. Well, let's bring things together.
You find the rest of them in the commissary having some snacks. Rivo, when it comes to
Yep.
meat, all you can find is some really salty jerky. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's preserved, that's what it is.
That goes great with fruit.
What? They don't have any boiled giant scorpion claw? That's delicious shit.
They only serve that at dinner and at lunch.
Oh.
It's slim pickings in the middle of the night. That poor Dampier.
District 2 lobster.
It's the best. Might give you cancer. Don't think too much about it.
I'll eat anything soaked in butter.
I got some bad news. All they got is Hellgack butter around here. It's awful.
I was
We
about to
feel
say,
weird again.
you don't want to know what passes for butter in District 2.
Well,
It's a great lubricant. I'll just say that. Anyway,
Thanks for the tips.
that's what I'm here for. Joey Showbiz with all your hot tips. District 2 butter. Awful for eating. Great for lubricating. Get on it.
Well, I'm all for fucking procrastinating, but is there anything else you guys can think of? What else do we need to take care of?
I mean, I need to bury the key. And the rest of you should get a good night's sleep.
Clementine, are you going to be able to lift my key to bury it?
She kind of like pats her belt and then transforms into an earth elemental.
Oh, okay.
Clem, try picking up the key.
As a large earth elemental, you got it.
You fail miserably.
Ah,
I'll
fuck.
just kind of laughs like.
Like, carrying these things is not a matter of physical strength. It's of spiritual ability. And no matter what you turn into, you won't have the ability to move this thing very far.
Clementine picks up Holt. Okay, you carry the key, I'll carry you.
Unfortunately, that will cause Holt to suffocate.
I still need to breathe, even though I look like this. Thank you. Put me down.
Alright, I'll dig the hole, you drop the key in.
Whoa, where are you digging this hole?
Salandra! Salandra,
Yeah.
please. What did Aziz say?
I think we need to leave it in Aziz's office.
Oh, okay.
This seemed like a good idea, but probably it's.
Clementine sadly transforms back.
And the music box. So, for someone like the Chosen, they could get to the vault without the music box pretty easily, right?
They could, but that would definitely trigger all the security measures.
Right. Yeah, unless they knew the password.
Right.
Yeah. So it doesn't much matter. So we can just leave the music box with Aziz, or actually we could just take it in one of our in either my haversack or Rivo's bag of holding, because it's not going to matter. It gives us a potential escape valve, I guess.
I mean, the music box serves as two-factor authentication. If you know the password, but you don't use the music box, you trigger the security measures. If you have the music box, but you don't know the password, you also trigger the security measures.
All right. So in other words, if we bring the music box, then it gives the Chosen access to the vault free and clear.
If they read your mind and steal your thoughts.
Yep.
It's not like you know someone who can do that.
Yep. We'll leave the music box with Aziz, I think.
That's fine.
Ah, fuck. All right. Anything else you want to do, or we're going to leave the other one where it is, Clementine?
I think that'd be the best idea.
Okay.
So you're leaving Kira's key, Gemma's key, and the music box in Aziz's care.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
And it's a lot of trust to put in Aziz, but
That is a lot of trust, but he is a very powerful wizard. He has a lot of very capable students, and he has the aegis of a goddess on his side.
There's really no better place for this key.
Aziz, if Tori does show up, make sure you lock your fucking door. That's all I have to say.
Please, I'd like to see him get past my traps and guards.
Well, old man, I guess we have to do what we're supposed to do. If we see you again, I hope we see you.
We will.
And if not, can do what you can for Gadra. I mean, I know it's a big ask, but
I'll do my best.
Salandra, before we go, would you like me to send a message to Tori?
Well, I told him if he wants his money to get to himself. I imagine he's going to show up at some point. Assuming he's not dead and dissected by the Chosen to figure out exactly what we were up to, which is not impossible. I mean, it's very possible he went to the Chosen as soon as he was talking to us, gave them everything he knows, and probably got dissected and has, yeah.
Speculation like that isn't going to help.
Well, yeah.
Grub pipes up. Yeah, but it's important to keep these things in mind.
And he just hasn't gotten the idea that there are some people you just can't con.
Nah, of course not. You just gotta lie harder.
Yeah, well, you know something? He's still a fucking kid who doesn't have nearly as much skill as he thinks he does yet.
Oh fuck, what's that? Right, that order of the stick line. Did you mean everything I said? You said? Was I really such a bad dad? No, you're a great parent. Oh, thanks, my dear. Yeah, I was really worried there for a second. Why did you lie to him? Because the magic only works on things that are fake.
Oh.
She drinks a potion of glibness, which gives her a +30 to bluff. And she breaks into a prison to break somebody out. And they're like... one of the signs on the wall... The person who's in charge of the prison is acutely aware of adventure stereotypes. And so, like, one of the rules on the wall is like, there will never be an unaccounted drill. And so she goes in there and she's like, this is all a drill. And they're like, they point at the poster. No, we don't have those. That never happens here. And she's like, but this is a test. This is a test to test your test. And because she's rolling an effective +58 on bluff, they're like, I guess this makes sense.
That's stupid.
You go up to the king of the kingdom and say, you're not the king, you're an imposter. And the king is like, oh shit, you figured me out. With your +58 on bluff, even if he does get a +30 on sense motive, he can't roll high enough.
Goddamn Myrna.
Goddamn Myrna. Inscrutable. Anyway, do you guys contact the consortium and request the teleport?
I mean, I think we should sleep first, but yeah.
Rest is important.
We're
Sleep
not all
is
elves.
good for the blood.
It just may be the first or last sleep we get for a while, so.
Any chance that we have like 7,000 experience points float our way mysteriously in the night?
Absolutely not.
Just channel your god. I'm sure it will go fine.
Don't worry about it. Just channel Kira. It's totally fine. Just channel Dogo. It'll all be all right.
No.
Has Kira is Kira upset about it with Mayor? Said anything?
No. She's pretty Avatar Kyoshi about the whole thing. He was a piece of shit and you killed him. You can't expect me to feel bad for him. He had every chance to reform. Speaking of such things, I'm playing a hive mind in Stellaris right now, and I met a group of genocidal fuckheads. So I genocidal fuckheaded them, and everyone's really upset with me now.
But they were genocidal first.
Nope. They're all very upset that I would ever do such a thing. Hey, I'm a hive mind. There's only one of me, and they threatened me. So just like, no, that's not cool. I'm gonna burn down your civilization and eat all your people. Oh, did I mention that we ate all their people?
No, we didn't do that part.
More accurately, we're a group of plants, so we chopped them all up and turned them into mulch.
Oh.
That sounds like a Doctor Who episode.
I think that is a Doctor Who episode.
Tom Baker, maybe.
Anyway, do you guys all shack up for the night? There are obviously spare dormitory beds available. They are not comfy, nor are they uncomfy either.
A perfectly average sleep.
Yes. Except for all of those who are afflicted with terrible anxiety,
Yeah.
which is just like all of you.
Yep. I think I've already finished my tattoos.
Would anyone else like to do anything in the night, or is it all just like restless sleep?
Clem's probably gonna be like, shit, I can't fall asleep. Whisper time.
It's time for whisper, baby.
Whisper nap.
She's going to do Whisper in the temple again. Okay.
Yeah. Clem, you take some. Do you eat it, or do you take some whisper tea?
Tea.
You take some whisper tea, and holy shit, it's morning all of a sudden. You don't even remember lying down. Just you're sat.
Do I feel
sat
rested?
up. What?
Do I feel rested?
Yes.
Cool.
That being said, like you're still sat up in bed, and the sun is rising, poking through a window, and you're like, "Oh, hey, hello there."
Good morning, son. You're beautiful today.
So probably the easiest way to do this would be to leave from Aziz's office, the music box, to get to that panel to contact the consortium rather than having me burn a spell.
That's not a bad idea.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Did everyone have breakfast?
Everybody eat food to regain health.
Coffee.
Who wants
that
toast?
Who wants coffee?
What's coffee?
You want the coffee? I got the coffee. Aziz's selection is much more sparse. There's coffee and milk. There's no sugar. Sugar is expensive.
Why would you want coffee when you could drink milk?
Milk.
Because you want to be awake, Clementine.
No, I want to be asleep. That's it. I'm hosting this. I'm hosting this game from beyond the grave. It's time for the big sleep, and I'm not talking about the Salvador Dali painting. Anyway,
Salander probably coffee with some hard anise-based cookies to dip into the coffee, and a cigarette for breakfast.
Yeah, coffee and a cigarette. That's Solandra's
that's
style.
Solandra right there.
Yep. She'll give anyone who needs a drag. So.
Share, please. Thank you.
Holt, I'm sorry. The cigarette does nothing for you.
Damn it.
You're like a vampire now. You just smoked because it looks cool.
It's habit. Maybe it's like a placebo.
I'm also curious if I can get Rivo hooked. That'd be fun.
Don't.
No, he thinks you're crazy doing that.
Hey, I'm an elf. It just chops off my 200 years at the end. No, not really.
Fuck. I can't even enjoy coffee.
You can barely taste it. I'm sorry. Being a Hellbred sucks. Pleasures are dulled
Hello.
and muted.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Have the nice day that I won't.
How about the probably incredibly torturous process of tattoo.
Of what?
Of giving him a tattoo.
Oh,
That's
yep, that
fine.
still hurts. But I mean, like, no more than usual. And I mean, you can experience pride at doing that, but like physical pleasures, material objects, nah, not so much. Oh boy, booze.
Meh.
Oh
Let's
boy,
take me
So
some
being
gold.
Hellbright is just like having depression.
yeah,
Hey,
That's the guy who plays the mountain, right? Yeah, okay.
yes,
listen.
He recently broke some sort of ridiculous record, didn't he?
yeah. He
Yeah.
picked up like he did like a 1,081 kilogram deadlift or some crazy shit. But so do you guys go to Aziz's office, use the music box, and head into the great beyond?
I
Let's
suppose
do it.
we do.
I get Toby.
Do you want to leave Toby with Aziz?
It's a possibility.
Where do you want to go?
He looks up at you and bleats loyally. He will follow you to the ends of the earth.
I scratch his head. He's coming with us.
You know that he is the low-hanging fruit for Renal to give you misery, so...
So you have to take him with you. You're not allowed to leave him behind.
Clementine would just straight up wouldn't leave Toby behind.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if that goat survives the entire game, you get an achievement.
Yes.
And I mean, like, if you bring him back to life, that doesn't count. He has to survive the entire game.
That's okay. Clementine would not do that.
Fucking, oh god. Darkest dungeon achievements. Complete the final dungeon with Dismas and Renault. And on that old road, we found redemption.
That's what I'm trying to do in my current playthrough.
Yeah, meanwhile, my
hard.
Dismas has the red plague, so he keeps trying to eat people.
Have you told him to stop it?
I did. All I can do is placate him by giving him the blood.
The blood.
The blood.
More blood for the blood gods.
Skulls to the skull throne! Sorry. I didn't
Open the
take
vault.
I didn't take my corn medicine today. So yeah, you guys activate the music box. Enter the area. You can use the panel. You have rolled Wizard 65. You get someone. No, not that.
Actually, before we leave Aziz, do you think we should use our scrolls to protect ourselves against the atmosphere before leaving?
I'm not saying that's a bad idea, nor am I saying that that's a good idea.
Well, I would have asked Aziz about that.
Oh, he shrugs. I'm sorry, I've never been up there. I don't know what I don't even know what to expect that you'll find.
All right. It probably makes sense to use it. They last for a while, don't they?
They last for a couple of hours, yes.
All right. I'll do my best to cast them on the others. I think it has to be me, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
How many ranks do you have in use magic device?
It's not one of my strong suits.
Oops.
I'm planning on upping that, but unfortunately, it's not an int-based skill.
It is not. It's a charisma-based skill. So,
yeah, I'm at +4.
Grub's like, give me those. Give me those
Oh.
before you hurt somebody.
Grub, are you coming with us?
Oh fuck yeah, I'm coming with you. If you think you're leaving me behind, you're wrong. I was trying to think of a clever metaphor, but I didn't.
I'm glad you're coming with us, Grub.
Grub, I just hope that little brain of yours doesn't end up in a bottle somewhere.
I'll be fine.
fuck.
And if they take my brain and put it in a jar, put the jar in a robot, and I'll be able to walk around. It'll be fine.
Man says it'll be fine.
In any event, when you use the panel, you get contacted by this lady. Grub is instantly smitten. And she's like, welcome to the Infinite Consort. Is there a problem with your vault?
No, ma'am.
We're actually interested in making the last transaction. We kind of got specced out last time.
Ooh, let me check your account here. And a teleport through an anti-teleportation field.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh yes, if it were a simple teleport, we wouldn't need to charge so much.
Yes. I think I look around at the others. I think we're ready. Holy fuck. All right.
Do you pull the trigger?
Before we go, can I say you look pretty cool?
You may. Now, bon voyage. Being teleported is weird. It's almost nauseating insofar as you're there 1 second and now you are someplace else. And the place that you happen to be is just sort of like an area surrounded by incredible blinding light. And shouting, I should mention. There's a whole lot of shouting. It's mostly like, are any of you armed? Do any of you have any of, like, anything?
I mean, Clem's got her staff as
I have
like a
my
walking
weapons
stick.
on my belt.
Got it. Like, you know, there are a lot of shouting. Amidst it, you hear several commands. The commands are, you know, get down, drop everything.
We're
Go
family
fly.
together.
Here at Gunner's request.
That's great. That's real fucking neato. Now get down. We'll handle that in a minute.
Drop everything. Get down.
On your bellies. I want you to eat that fucking dirt. Do you understand me?
You want me to turn into a mole too?
If you perform one transformation that I don't inform you to, I will blow your ass into the next reality. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
So who's
saying this, by the way?
Clem.
You don't, like, Clem is saying that, but, like, who is responding? You don't know. There could be, like, blinding white light. You all have the blinded status. Sorry.
Yep.
So
So does Slandra.
everybody eat that dirt. And doesn't act dumb. And then someone's like, wait, so Gunner is sponsoring you?
Yes, Gunner has offered a sponsorship.
A likely story. Well, it just so happens that Mr. Gunner isn't present. So, and then he hears a voice over a comm that says, if you would bring them to the throne room, please. And, like, the lights dim down, and you can see that the room you're in, there are, like, 10 soldiers. They all have weapons you've never seen before. These are not the standard laser rifles that you've seen down below. These are sort of advanced weapons. Like, what's that weapon Coulson has in Avengers? The thing he doesn't know what it does?
Oh, yeah, the big freaking...
The destroyer
blasters.
cannon? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have, like, those. There's no kill like overkill. And as you can see, there are, like, 6 of these guys, and they've got you surrounded. And, like, it was impossible for you to see them. And, like, they get that command. Yeah, that one. Those boys. Duh. Oh, so that's what it does. And they're all like,
BFGs.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Some big
Gotcha.
force cannons. No joke. Everyone thought it meant big fucking gun. No, it's a big force gun. It's a big fucking gun. Anyway,
They call it big fucking gun in the movie.
Good. Wait, do you mean the Doom movie? Because in the Doom
Yes.
movie, they call it the big force gun.
And then
The Rock
Dwayne The
might
Rock
call
Johnson
it
is
the
like, big fucking gun.
Right, but the schematics say big force gun, and I was salty.
Well, I mean, if you want to get really technical, it's the big fragging gun in the game files of the original Doom and Doom 2.
Thank
Don't.
you. Get technical on me.
I love you guys.
Sorry.
Okay.
As if we couldn't nerd any harder.
Talk nerdy to me.
Ow!
I accidentally bit my fucking pop filter. Ow. Don't
Too
get up,
nerdy.
Don't get up that close on the mic. Anyway, too dirty. Thuggery is happening. Anyway, like these masked chosen look at you and they are like incredibly upsetty. And they're like, "All right. Fine. Everybody on your feet. If I see you going for a weapon, or I think you're going for a weapon, or I don't like the way you move, or I don't like the way you breathe, I will blow your ass into the next reality. Do I make myself clear?"
Crystal.
Crystal.
I carry my hammer up near the head and drag the handle behind me.
Sounds good. That's just about as safe as it's gonna get. They're not too worried about a hammer. Maybe they should be, but pride goeth before the fall. And they march your asses to the throne room.
Does this look familiar to me?
It does! So does the man who is sitting on the throne, but he looks much older now than he was. Oh no, I can't find a picture of him. Oh, there we go. That'll do. This will do fine though. Oh God. Huh, that's weird. Huh. That's weird. It just keeps downloading it instead of showing me the thingy. Oh well. Weird. In any event, like on a floating throne made of misshapen flesh is an incredibly old human.
Misshapen flesh.
Misshapen flesh. Mostly, it's a cross between stone and chitin. When I say ancient, I'm like, you've never seen a human this old. If you had to hazard a guess, you'd put his age up around 130. He seems to be sustained by a lot of the seemingly medical tubes that go in and out of various parts of his body.
Do we see a strange-looking device on that throne?
There is. Right above it, under an arch of bizarre horns, lies a rather chiropterian device. Ooh, wait, how about this? There we go. I think I got a picture. Got it. It's small, but you can see what I mean by 130.
Whoa. Yep.
Ancient. And as you guys get brought into the room, you know, the Chosen have their guns trained on you, and the Emperor looks at you all and he's like, interesting. So,
Anyone else in the room? Any Daskius or my mother? Or...
I mean, you're like, any Daskius? And as if on cue, here comes Daskius. And he's, you know, the Emperor is like, would you look at you? And just like, it's impossible to read the smile on, it's impossible to read the expression on his face, covered as it is by the large, bizarre mask that seems to feed him something necessary.
When is he saying that to me or
to all of you? It is the plural you. Daskius shows up and he's like, I've got some bad news, interlopers. As much as you would like to be adopted by our fine family as supreme beings, it so happens that you do not have anyone who can vouch for you successfully. Gunnar has fled the coop, and he's not here to press his claim. As such, you will all be recycled and summarily executed. And the Emperor says, wait. In any event, Though I am unfortunately bidden to see you to your terrible fate, I would like to hear a little bit about each of you before you go. Hellos and goodbyes all at once, if you don't mind. I
See, it's-
understand that you labored so hard to get here. It would be a pity for that to all go to waste. Please, introductions.
I knew that there was something I forgot to do, by the way, Ronald. I had thought contacting Gunnar was things I wanted to have the consortium do, and I completely forgot.
Oops.
Oh well. It's like, crap, what is it that I'm missing? I know I'm forgetting something.
I'm forgetting something, but I don't remember what I've forgotten. You all turn shiftlessly to each other, wondering who should begin their introductions. And Grub pipes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm Grub. I tinker with machines. I'm from District 2 down below. I've studied your work. Let's put it that way. You know, I make things, I break things, I fix things. You know, I do the stuff, and you know the Emperor gets weirdly chatty, and he's just like, "Oh, really? So you're able to divine the nature of our technology?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got a little outside assistance on that." And he's like, "Do you have some sort of identification module?" And he's like, "Yeah, something like that." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'd love to hear more about it, but I fear we shan't have another occasion to speak, unfortunately." And you seem a little closed tight about that. I understand. We all have our secrets. But still, you need to understand that when you live here, those secrets will be revealed. Who's next?
Clem steps forward. So, hello. I'm Clementine. I'm from the 3rd District. You say that you're looking to reveal secrets.
Yes.
Will you know if I'm telling you the truth?
I mean, at this point, there's no magical or supernatural means by which I can discern lies, but let us say that I'm a very good judge of character.
All right. Then you'll know that I have no reason to lie to you when I tell you that I am Dogo's scion.
In time, we will speak of scions. But do not give away too much. Not too quickly. Please, please. Introductions, my dear.
More introductions. All right. I am a druid, and I love goats, and this is Toby.
Is that short for Tobias?
No, it's short for Toby.
Ah, I see.
Old
So-
Toby is a strain of pipeweed in District 3.
Ah, fascinating. I have not had any in many years. I fear that it would disagree with me. So you mean to say that you are able to have a magical connection between yourself and the land?
Yes.
Fascinating. How would you describe your connection between yourself and Toby? Would you describe it as spiritual, magical, or mental?
Can I ask you something without hopefully offending you?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had a very close friend?
Yes.
And you know how when you have that close friendship, you sort of sink in a lot of ways.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's like that.
Ah, so it is magical. He says with a sort of knowing smile, understanding that it's not literal magic, but it's figurative magic.
Yeah.
At which point, a painfully perfect woman walks into the room. She's like wearing chosen garb. It's not Selena. It's someone else. She's got long platinum hair, as opposed to short black hair that Selena has. I'm sorry, Selena has long black hair. And she's like, "Father, what's the matter?" And he's like, "Nothing's the matter, my dear. No need to get upset. I'm just hearing out our new friends before they are summarily executed and reprocessed." So we've heard from Clementine, fantastic, and we've heard from Grub, yes. Who will go next?
Holt will step forward, if that's what people have been doing.
I mean, not really,
Yes.
but you can step forward if you want. Alternatively, everyone else can step back like a fucking coward.
I'm just waiting for to see if another shops. It's mainly that I'm just looking at the people coming and going and curious.
My name is...
The room is
sorry,
attracting quite a crowd. Like, people are coming in and being like, "Who the fuck? Whomstead of the fuck is this?" And like, Doskius is impatiently tapping his foot. You can see like a vein bulging out on his forehead, and he's like, "Fucking, when do I get to kill these nerds? When do I get to kill them and take their shit? Can we skip to the murder? Can we skip to the murder part? Can I murder now? Is it murder time? Is it murder o'clock?" Holt, where were you?
My name is Nikolai Holt. I am a resident of the World Bazaar, former paladin of the Holy Guard.
I see that it didn't agree with you very well.
That obvious?
Oh, well, I have to ask, were you born that way, or is it a transformation of some sort?
No, it is a transformation. I believe the term is hellbred.
Excuse me, Holt, I've never met one of you. I've met tieflings, half-demons, half-fiends, all manner of bizarre, esoteric creatures come climb the peak to find their salvation and find us instead.
Well, if what I've been told is correct, then I'm something else entirely.
Exactly. We will look forward to studying you.
I'll try to take that as a compliment.
It's all I can provide. 2 left, eh?
All right, I'll step forward. My name is
Before
Sandra,
you
but-
say anything, he just says, "You have your mother's eyes and her face." That is how mother-child relationships work, correct?
Yes. I was about to introduce myself as daughter of Atrial Batalis, who is... I've been kind of hoping that she's somewhere in this, but whose fate remains unknown to me. Perhaps you've heard something of me from your friend Doskius here, with whom I had some interactions already.
Strangely enough, he believed reporting your interactions with him to be below interest of mine. But needless to say, your actions have reached my ears. And it seems only fair to inform you, and I must humbly request that you hold your blade and you hold your tongue. But your mother was executed decades ago for dissension. I'm sorry. I cannot speak to the validity of those claims, but I can say that she was a firebrand of a woman and that I miss her.
As do I.
And reaches over and pats Solandra's arm.
I expected it, but I had some glimmer of hope that has pained me. So now I know.
Hope is important, and it makes me so upset that I must dash them so often.
I am I study some combat and some magic. I merge the two as best I may. I have a good companion who has been with me for many years, who you may recognize in some capacity.
Yes, we see the black blade at your side. and we have. I'm coming up with a theory as to how it is it ended up in your possession, but let's not worry about that over much. All right?
Apparently, I have someone with whom I share some blood who is among your people.
Yes, there are a few. I suspect you may have met one of them under unfortunate circumstances.
And I have been dwelling within District 2 for most of my life, within the shadow of this mountain, seeing that which is discarded from it. And
I don't think you've ever seen a chosen express shame, but you're seeing it right now from the man on the throne.
And I have seen some of your kind searching for other objects similar to the one you have there. How fascinating. Daskius, isn't that like the one that you were looking at before?
He pointedly says nothing.
That you failed to acquire. How competent of you.
And like
Chosen are grand indeed.
Like the Emperor's eyes go wide and he's like, "Oh, really? Well then."
I figured I can politely kick him in the balls a little bit, right?
That's what the court is for.
Bruising intellect doesn't have to be profane.
Exactly. Oh no, my ego. My poor ego. Hurting Daskius' ego is pretty easy. It's got a -4 size penalty. It's armor class.
I suppose it's easy for a person of accomplishment to get distracted by squashing a bug underfoot for a substantial period of time rather than accomplishing his goals. But...
And like you can see that he's seething with rage over there, but for whatever reason he stays his hand. And does Rybo have anything to say? Is that what you've been typing up, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
I flipped the half of my maul after Sal is finished and it's quiet. I let it drop forcefully to the throne room floor. And in my home tongue from my mother, I will sing a chant, much like a Maori one.
Mm-hmm.
And the gist of it will be, I am the last and the lowest. Name Rivo in the old tongue of my people. I was chosen of Connor, a dog not worthy of notice and better left alone. I have nothing that is of any value to anyone, but the gods have other plans. So I will bleed and breathe for as long as they will it.
Slick. Unfortunately, your words are lost on your fellow men, but not on the Emperor, who chants back something in the old tongue as well. That it's basically the equivalent of "and so let it be." Like he's extremely pleased to taste this bit of old culture. It's like a book he's never had the occasion to read again. You know.
Do you want me to make a not that it'll matter, but that Maori stuff is kind of like an intimidation attempt. I don't mean to do it.
No, it's not.
I don't want to be rude.
Right.
But the rest of the party will definitely, they may misinterpret it.
Right.
Get it some chills a little bit.
Roll it. Like a haka dance is scary. It's not necessarily meant to like be a threat, but it is scary.
It's intimidating.
That's what it's all about. And they break Maui's magic fish hook, and he's like, "All right, I'm a haka. Fuck you. Look at me."
Do I get any synergy from performance?
You do.
Okay, so my intimidate is 19, my performance is 13, and my roll was 13.
Slick.
Wait,
The
you say
performance
19
bonus only
plus
gives you a
19.
+2 on the intimidate roll, so it's 21 plus
And-
13.
And you get to hear Rye sing.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
And like, I should mention when the Emperor, like, when you're done, like the Emperor gives a quick, like, it is a short, slow, weak round of applause as he sings back and respond. You can tell that by the time he's done, he's a little winded, but still. He takes a moment to collect himself, to breathe in and breathe out, and like the woman that came to his side is just there holding his hand, and he clutches hers very tightly, and he just says, "Well, it was my esteemed pleasure to meet all of you, but unfortunately, by the ancient laws of my people." And before he can finish his thought, a familiar voice cries out as a blind man rushes into the council chambers, and trips he rushes in as quickly as he can. His guards are his entourage are some ways behind him, brushing through some other people, and as he comes in, he's like, sorry, pardon me, pardon my tardiness, and then he like falls over some shit and picks himself up quickly and goes to stand by the rest of you and says, "My esteemed apologies, Emperor Aspertine, but you understand how busy we are on these wild days and nights." And the Emperor says, "Oh, absolutely, Gunnar. I completely understand." And Daskius is like, "This doesn't matter. He wasn't present during their sentencing. He wasn't present to represent them during all this. This doesn't like, we still get to, these guys still have to die." And the Emperor's like, we didn't begin. We didn't begin. We didn't begin any of that, Daskius. I'm sorry. Introductions ran a bit over long, but there are 5 of them, 1 of me. They're all, you understand. And Daskius leaves. He's out. He's just out. He cannot handle this. He cannot
I give him
handle
a
this
little wave.
abomination. And the Emperor's like, "I must apologize for Daskius' behavior. You understand he's very stressed right now. In any event, Gunnar, you were saying that you can vouch for the esteem of these people?" And Gunnar's like, "Absolutely. Every single one of them." And the Emperor's like, well then. In that regard, you will be considered part of Gunnar's clan, which means that any crimes you commit will fall upon his head. That being said, you must understand that there must be some preliminary examinations to ensure that you are safe to be among the public, etc., etc. We must understand your abilities and the nature of them, so please understand that what occurs from here on out is not any risk to your health, and if anything should go awry, we have the means and ability to repair it, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Now, pardon me, this has all been a bit too much for a rather old man, so I need to take a rest. I leave you in my daughter's capable hands. He snuggles up in his little Emperor's chair, and he's not napping, but like Gandalf style, he's sleeping with his eyes open. And this woman walks up to all of you. Salandra, you succeed on your knowledge planes roll because I know you can. You recognize her immediately as an ASMR.
All right.
Oh, sweet.
That's why she's just a little painfully perfect.
So it's kind of a little bit of a surprise to Salandra. She had assumed that they were all going to be ASMR to begin with, and when she started running into them not being ASMR, she kind of was surprised.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, make no mistake, plenty of the Chosen are ASMR. They have a very high chance to be born spontaneously as ASMR. I mean, like, relatively high. It's like 1 in 16 or 1 in 32 or whatever. But they are not all among the celestial people.
Ooh.
Clementine is trying very hard not to stare.
How old is she in appearance?
How old is she? That's hard to tell. ASMR tend to age very slowly. But she looks like she's maybe 29, 30, something like that. Still, she is gorgeous.
I look to Gunner.
You were making us sweat a little bit there.
Sorry.
We should have contacted you before we went through the consortium. That was a grievous flaw on our part.
Gunnar comes with you as she leads you through the labyrinthine halls of this structure. He says, "Don't worry about it. Sorry, I was a little waylaid. My ship got attacked by some of Doskius's men before we got here. One thing you need to understand is that Chosen are not allowed to fight other Chosen in the air or on the land above the clouds. That's why we take all of our fighting down below. Now that you are one of us, I can tell you that. So don't worry about what Doskius might do. The political ramifications for his actions would be ghastly. He might, when all would be said and done, he would still have his ships, but he would have nothing else. The rest of the Chosen here would turn on him immediately."
I did rather figuratively kick him in times during my introduction.
And he says,
I'm not sure.
"Exactly. You're already getting the hang of it. Up here, you need to fight with your words, your mind, not your fists."
Oh, my fists were never my strongest.
Let's say Rivo hears you got to fight with your mind and your and not your fists, and he's like, "Ah, fuck! You fucking kidding me?"
I'm gonna go all Terry Crews on him. Just flex my pecs.
God damn it.
Milady, how should we address you?
Oh shit! I totally forgot what her name is. She has a name. Whatever. We're going to the random ASMR generator.
Princess Fancy Pants.
Oh.
Hey, random ASMR name generator. Give it to me. Boom.
Oh, I'm gonna do something really hard on knowledge religion.
My name is Vildes. If you must know.
Can I figure out what her ancestry is from?
You can. That's gonna be tricky.
Yep, I figured it would be. Okay, that is a 30.
What was that?
30 what?
A 34.
34. You're thinking about all the celestial beings, and you're like, okay, not an archon, not a simple archon, definitely greater than that. Like a lantern archon, she'd be more luminous. A dog archon, she'd have more canine features. A trumpet archon, no, that seems to fit.
Oh, actually, was this knowledge plans or knowledge religion? Just a little bit lower, so it would have been a 31. Planes, sorry, I thought it was 31.
Okay.
I was using my knowledge religion.
Got it. In any event, like you narrow her down to someone of a celestial being of a greater nature. Like I'm talking like
Planetary, solar.
yeah, something like not necessarily an angel, but way up there. Like angels, demigods, fucking shit like that. Ancient heroes, lost to time, taken to Easgard to drink and fuck their lives away. Their unlives away. Something like that. She is, wearing a standard Chosen garb. but she's not wearing the helmet or the mask. I should mention that Doskius hadn't been either. And she leads you to she leads you to a room that's got some sort of egghead chosen inside. Seems to be an elf of some descriptor. And she's like, we have 5 new admittees. And he just looks at her like dumbfounded, like, what? Now? Now of all times? And she says, yes, now. He's like, okay. And then he sees Gunnar among them, and Gunnar like tries to hide him. But Gunnar does not realize that he's being looked at because he is blind. And the elf looks at him and just says, I knew you'd be at the heart of this. And Gunnar's like, oh, yes, you know me. Always sticking my toes in all of the pies. And he's like, be gone. Leave me to my work. All right. Each of you into the next room, one at a time, please. Who shall go first?
I'll do
Some
it.
steps forward. Oh,
I just brushed past.
Sounds good. And like before you go into the next, yes. Actually, when you get into the next room, he commands you to strip.
There I go.
Boom. There we go. And you know he takes a lot of readings and measurements and pokes and prods you, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna draw your blood with this. Don't worry about it. I'm not taking enough that matters." And he's just like,
That's Kaya, by the way. He's awesome. He never did win Olympia. He got jobbed.
"Damn it."
He's a really good artist. Interesting guy.
But yeah, he puts you through a bunch of like tests and stress tests, and he tests, you know, how strong you are, and he's just like, huh, your adrenal glands are crazy. I'm going to assume that you didn't understand what I just said.
Are we in the room while he's saying this, or is he by himself in the room alone with
The personal examinations take place in private.
Okay.
In any event, yeah, sure, yeah, you've passed. You're all good. Send in the next one. You have no outstanding diseases or problems. Who goes in next?
I look at Clementine. Doesn't matter to
Okay.
me.
get out of the way.
So Clem, you go in there. He puts you through a bunch of tests. He commands you to strip. Does a bunch of tests. He's just like, huh. And like he asks you the same question that the Emperor did. So is your connection with the goats magical, spiritual, or mental?
Magical?
Huh. Yeah. Wait. So okay. Could you cast a spell, please? Just something simple, unobtrusive, if you could.
Sure. Cast light.
You cast light. Okay. All right. Interesting. Standard cantrip Orazon stuff. How did you do that exactly?
And she clicks her fingers and, like, makes the light flash by snapping. I know a lot of people can't snap their fingers, but...
Okay. Interesting. High degrees of control. So who do you worship? Because I can tell from your readings here that you're not an arcane caster.
If I had to give her a name, I would probably... Gaia? Elana?
Gaia?
Pick your poison.
Give me a second. And he starts poring over some records, and he's like, I don't see anything on a Gaia on the god or goddesses list.
She's more than that.
Okay, then what is she?
Everything.
Everything.
I mean, everything worth being.
Okay. What? Okay. All right. Heckin' druids. I mean, you're currently dealing with a society that has like none.
No nature.
Yeah. Okay, so you get your power from everything, like from the stars or from the earth?
From the earth.
Okay.
From the growing things. And you guys are really far from her.
Wait.
No, no offense.
So you mean you get your magic power from worshipping plants?
Well, and animals and life and the forces of that hold us all together.
Okay. Pardon my oversimplification. Okay. We can work with that.
Well, you don't need to work with that. It's my thing.
No, but you will need to... Don't worry about it. We'll get onto it later. Send in the next, please.
I guess I'll come in next.
Strip. Tests.
The one thing is brother.
You have to keep brother on you.
Yep.
And he's like, okay. So can you put that thing down?
With difficulty.
Okay. Could you please put that thing down?
I do. If I can keep my toe near the hilt, that would be helpful.
You keep your toe near the hilt, and like it's kind of bad, but not super bad. No penalties bad. And he's like, okay, all right, no, that's. And he looks down and he's like, no cheating.
I move my foot slightly.
You move your foot slightly, and oh, here we go, Barfsville, population Salandra. Like he looks at you and he's like, should I get you a stool or a bucket or something?
No, I can. She will do her best to hold it off.
Make a fortitude save.
25.
Oh, that's good enough. He takes some readings real quick and he's like, okay, all right, you can put that back now. It's super weird. You're getting your blood drawn and going through all these examinations, and you just have this sword in your hand or on your belt or wherever. And he's just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. I guess I understand now why the Black Blade project was discontinued. Secrets, they're the currency around here. Who needs gold, am I right? We can just fabricate more of it.
Secrets have always been much more interesting to me.
You'll get along well here. So, your spellcasting, you do use a book, right?
For some.
Okay, that's fine. But you would consider yourself trained in the arcane arts?
Largely self-trained, but yes.
That's fine. Some of the best. The lessons that stick with you the most are the ones you teach yourself. But anyway, you're all good. Next. Holt, you going in?
Yeah.
And he puts you through the rigmarole. He sees your scaly skin, and he's like, "Ooh, okay, I'll be back." And he comes back with he reaches into a drawer and he pulls out a bigger needle. And you're just like, "Oh," and he's like, "You know what's gonna happen." And he draws
Adamantine needles.
Adamantine needles.
Just get it over with.
He draws your blood. It hurts bad, and he's like, "Don't flinch. You flinch, and you'll make it worse." You manage to not flinch, and he's like, all right, oh, okay. All right, so we got some good news and I got some bad news. Good news, you're perfectly healthy, whatever the fuck you are. Bad news, you don't have a soul.
This
I knew that was gonna come up.
What was that?
This isn't news to me.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Did you lose it? How are you still alive?
I don't know.
Okay.
If that's what you're...
But you are still alive, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
I think that this makes me beholden to a demon king.
Okay, that's bad. Okay, I got some bad news for you. You're gonna be considered a security risk?
Explain?
Okay, you got two options, basically. Either we have to put you in a cage and Gunner can transfer you to hit one of his ships, but so long as you are on the mountain, so long as you're here among the rest of us, you'll have to go in the cage. Alternatively, we've got a cage you can take with you, but you're not going to like it.
What's the portable cage?
It's this thing, and he pulls out a little device. And it's got an ominous blinking red light on it. So we put this thing into your throat, and if you should perchance come under demonic possession for any reason, your head will explode.
I don't plan on being possessed. Can it be removed?
I suppose that it could be, but I mean, any chance to
Eventually?
tamper it might set it off.
Like, if I were to ever leave this place, I could see you on the way out?
No. Sorry, I'm not in the habit of highly invasive, incredibly dangerous surgeries being performed every couple of hours or so. Your choice.
May I have a moment to discuss it with my companions?
You may.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Grab my
Dress.
shit.
Hey guys, I gotta put a bomb in my throat.
That's pretty much what I say. It's like, if you want me to be able to traverse this place with you, I have to put an explosive device in my neck.
Oh. Can we take it out? You know, when we're done here?
He didn't make that clear, and it didn't seem like he was willing.
You mentioned that tampering with it will probably cause it to explode.
It's such fragile technology that it will probably explode if someone tries to take it out.
And he comes out and he prompts, no, it's not that it's fragile, it's that it's meant to detonate if it's tampered with. That's a
So
function,
you
alternate-
not
to
a
make
bug.
it shitty?
Any alternate approaches? I mean, could he be made incorporeal for his stay here?
No. He could be put behind bars for his stay here.
That's rude.
If that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do.
Your choice, bomb or bars.
I'll take the bars. I don't like exploding things being put in my body.
The doctor shrugs. Understandable. But you have to understand that we can't take the risk.
He just nods, but he's pissed.
Right then. Now, if you don't mind, don't resist this, please. And he points a thingy at you, and he shoots you with a beam. Do you resist?
I might subconsciously resist. What do I...
Make a will save.
Oh, well, that's no problem. Is this a fear or fear-like effect?
It is not!
Cool. Then 9.
9.
Yeah,
You wake up in a force cage.
great.
Holt gets teleported. You can tell he's not dead and he hasn't been turned to dust, but you don't know where he is.
I'm not plugging my tablet then.
And the doctor just says, right then, Gunnar will know where he is and can call him out when needed. Anyway.
Can we visit him?
Yeah.
Do you feed him?
Yes. We don't make a habit of starving our people. We have more insidious ways to kill them. He says, like, with a voice filled with utter disgust. And then he calls Grub in. And, like, you can hear Grub from the other side. He's like, you're not really going to make me strip, are you? And the doc's like, you got to strip, boy. And Grub is like, fuck. And then like you hear some shuffling of clothing coming off, and he's like, the goggles too, and he's like, are you fucking serious? All right, fine. Take some readings, figure some things out.
I told you I should have done the tattoos.
And you just hear "fuck off" from the other side, and then the doctor is pointedly quiet. And then there are some whispered words exchanged. And then he's like, okay. All right, then. And then Grub comes back out fully dressed, and he looks like filled with pants-shitting terror.
Hey, Grub.
Hey,
What did he tell you?
nothing. And the doc says, yep, nothing. Nothing of particular interest learned. Nothing of incredible value. Nothing at all.
And they're both lying very obviously, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Grub couldn't hide it if he wanted, and the doc is... The doc expects that you already know, so there's no point for him to hide you.
Mhm.
And the doc pipes up, let's just say I have come into a secret of immense value. In any event, you will all be given your work positions. Clementine, you are you'll be sent to the botany department. Hopefully you can do something there. Solandra,
Clem looks actually kind of excited.
Solandra, we've got an opening in the arcane research department. Holt has elected to become a prisoner. Grub will bring you to the maintenance department. And Rivo, we've got an opening for you in sanitation. You'll be picking things up and putting things down. Don't worry about it. I have selected an occupation for each of you that suits your strengths, magical, physical, spiritual, mental, etc., etc. In any event, this is your first day. He gives each of you sort of a headband that adds it's like Google Glass, but not shitty.
Damn.
How does this interact with my existing? I think
Yeah.
Clementine has one too.
With your existing what?
Headband.
This is not really a headband. It's more it's a face slot item, not a head slot item.
Oh, okay.
What about? Can I still, excuse me, wear it with my eye slot item?
This takes up your eye slot item. Sorry, you're gonna
Okay.
have to take off your eagle eyes or whatever,
Take out my contact lenses.
basically.
May I ask before we? Was my mother employed here as well?
I see the relevance. Adriel, what is it?
Atrial.
Atrial. Yeah, she didn't take too keen to it.
I can't imagine.
Is Gaia gonna fuss if I put this thing on?
No. Actually, yes. Gaia is gonna have a small hissy fit, just like, that fucking abomination, and you're like, but it's just a tiny abomination. Mom, I want a tiny abomination.
It's like, I know, Mom, I don't like it either, but all the kids have to do it.
All the kids are wearing one, and if I don't do it, I'm not gonna be cool. And this thing provides each of you with like really basic information. Like during work hours, it tells you where to go and like what to do.
So everyone gets a HUD.
Everybody gets a heads-up display.
Heh.
And when you look at people, it tells you who they are and what's going on. Holt, you are given a book.
Oh,
What would you like to like? You get a so like you obviously you have there's a screen you can access to just basically like get whatever you want, and like you can ask for food, you can ask for some particularly daring company, although there's no guarantee that you'll get it.
I'm not interested in that right now.
Yeah. It's understood that if you're in one of these cells, that does not mean that you are, like, dangerous or deadly. It means that you pose a threat that can possibly be contained or dealt with, but a threat that cannot be ignored. And having the ability to suddenly get possessed by the Demon King and go on a rampage poses a threat. That being said, you can use this thing to summon food or like books or
Do they have any books in Infernal?
They do.
I would like to read one.
Fantastic. Oh Jesus. You find an incredibly dreadfully boring book about like devil lawyers. It's very poorly written. It's written really dryly and really professionally.
By someone named Grisham.
It's like, but then Dweegle invoked the law of blah 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 blah, and you're just like, oh Jesus Christ! Like some of the dialogue, most of the dialogue is just said or asked. Like there's not a lot of like deeply emotional language in this. That being said, like the story is compelling insofar as it informs a lot about like sort of how devils operate.
Contract law. Yay.
Yay. Oh God, fucking kill me.
How is your understanding of torts, Holt?
Well, I'm not really reading it for the material. I'm reading it to practice the language.
Hey. That being said, if you're reading it to practice the language, it definitely poses linguistic challenges for you.
Can I ask for a dictionary?
You may.
Okay, great.
There's a return slot or something. Don't worry about it. Like
Awesome.
their intention is to keep you comfortable. But obviously you're not allowed to leave unless you put a bomb in your throat.
I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's like that, but everything beyond it is just sort of like a featureless void. That being said, you can, there are a number of preset literal backgrounds for you. So, like, you can be in a forest cage on a beach, or be in a forest cage in the sky, or on a forest cage in a house.
With a mouse?
With a mouse! That being said, like, you select the beach option, and you're like, what the fuck is the ocean? Having never seen one before.
Yeah, right. There's no ocean.
It's very big and scary.
It's so fucking terrifying. Whomst did the fuck invented this?
Are the environments, like, fully immersive? Like, sound, smells? Or is it just, like, a hollow screen?
Oh, no, it's sound, smells. The only thing is, like, you can't leave your little pre-designated. You can't leave your 10 by 10 cube.
Ooh, maybe a lava field would be perfect for Holt right now.
He really doesn't like hot weather. He just looks like a demon. Salandra, if you ever bothered to ask him.
I didn't. I made assumptions about your racial identity based on your appearance.
That's sure.
Mm-hmm.
Check your privilege, Salandra.
Let Holt hang on, Gilligan.
I grew up in a dump.
Oh my god, you guys.
But Salandra, they bring you to, like, your heads-up display brings you to a library where there's a lot of, like, books to read and research to do.
Can we talk to Gunnar first to find out what the f is going on?
Nope. Unfortunately, the doctor scared him away. And you have no idea how to operate this fucking thing. As far as you're concerned, you're like, anyone who tries to fuck with their headband can try to make an intelligence check to try to make it do the thing. So, Salandra, you're definitely best suited to it, and you can make an intelligence check.
All right, I'm trying to see if I can use it to locate or communicate with Gunnar. So just straight intelligence, nothing else?
Yep.
Even 20.
Sounds good. You figure out that there is a basic chat function.
Gunnar?
Yes?
This is Salandra.
Yeah, it's like it's typed out chat. Like there is an invisible keyboard. You're not very good at typing. It's very slow going.
We've all been assigned to jobs,
Oh, good.
except for Holt, who is in prison.
Okay, I'll go chat to him about that.
And what the fuck?
So this is what happens.
How long does this go? How secure is this communication method?
Absolutely unsecure.
That's what I was afraid you're gonna fucking say. When can we talk to you a bit more?
When you're done. You'll be done whenever whoever is in charge believes that you've made a goodwill effort toward whatever job it is that you're supposed to do.
Goodwill?
A goodwill effort, yes.
Fuck. All right, I'm going to communicate with the others and tell them not to screw things up.
Yeah.
I will copy my chat with Gunnar, and I will send it to the others.
Clementine, Rivo, there are floating words in front of you. They say that they are from Gunnar and Salandra. The fuck?
And Salandra just says, "This is my conversation with Gunnar. Basically, just don't screw the fuck up and find out a little bit more. Bear in mind, you can communicate with me this way, but don't say anything that you don't want overheard."
Clementine, make an intelligence check.
I bold and highlight the absolutely unsecure bit, and then I say, in case you're wondering how to do this, I give them little step-by-step instructions on how to use their text.
That's good, because I got a 4 on my intelligence check.
Hashtag whatever. That being said, Rivo, you figure out pretty quickly that this thing attunes itself to whichever alphabet you're most comfortable with. And
I had also sent it to Grub, of course, but I figured Grub probably figured it out before I did.
Oh, dude, he already knows how all this shit works. Clem, you try to send a smiley face emote by smiling really big. It doesn't work. You'll figure that out later. Rivo, they bring you to a place. The headband brings you to a place where you just pick things up and put things down all day. Like they got bags of trash, and they got big like metal bits and large pieces of machinery that are being thrown out. You realize that if you had been born in District 2, you would recognize these ships as the ones that dump the trash on the world below.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's quite the workout. It definitely suits you.
There, I changed it so it would write in my home language.
Fuck a big white man. Right, Salandra, they have you doing, like, it's not basic magic theory, it's pretty advanced magic theory. It's super advanced magic theory, actually. I'm talking, like, lots of knowledge, arcane, and spellcraft rolls. You're working on, like, subtly altering certain spells to have different effects. Or, like, how to change, like, instead of a lightning bolt, how to create an ice bolt. And that's just, like,
that's pretty simple theory.
Right, it's simple theory, but applying it is tricky. Energy substitution, am I right?
My only concern is not wanting to give them any shit, but I figure this is pretty minor shit. I'll work on it. If there's anything useful I can during this, Salandra is nothing if not inquisitive, and she is in a freaking magical library that she's never seen the like of. So, I'll see if I can find a download feature on my my goggles.
Make another intelligence roll.
Print screen.
That's a 21.
21. You figure out that most of the texts here are not actually in paper. They're like inside of the they're already inside the goggle. The trick is how to access it, and you figure out how to do it pretty quickly. But there's also just like an incredibly large labyrinthine catalog that's really difficult to parse and read through. But I mean, hey, it's better than picking books at random or reading the spines. I should mention, Salandra, your boss is a gnome, who floats around basically constantly. Large billowing robes, giant spectacles. He's a really smart guy. He seems pretty nice given the circumstances. He doesn't seem to look down on you, even though you're new here, even though that you're an immigrant. And you chat with him a little bit, and you get the clear impression that a lot of people are going to look down on you because you're an immigrant, but as far as he's concerned, you're here because you're the best. That's what it took for you to get here. So by virtue of being here, you've already proven that you've already proven that you belong. But he does warn that there are many others who do not share this sentiment.
Understood.
Bravo.
Thanks.
Your boss is a dwarf. He is super blue collar. He curses, he farts, and he doesn't give a shit. When you show up, he plunges a hand right in front of you. You know what, Salandra, I'm changing your gnome to a lady gnome.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. This dwarf plunges his hand out towards you, Rivo, and he introduces himself as, "Hey, I'm a Milgrelun Ash Flayer. I take it you're the new guy."
I nod.
Welcome aboard. Do what it says, pick up the shit, put it down. Trust me, when you take a break whenever you feel like it, grab lunch if you want. Do your thing, but you're done when we say you're done. Don't worry about it. We're not going to go too hard on you. It's your first day. But, yeah. It's basic, fulfilling work, as I said. Grub goes and does things. Don't worry about it. He keeps sending exuberant messages to all of you just about how wicked all this shit is. Clementine.
I keep smiling at the display, trying to make it send a smile.
How do I send the smiley? Give me a second. I gotta open a window. It's fucking hot in here. Also, I gotta use the bathroom. I am, in fact, a piss machine.
I'm gonna grab another couple slices of pizza. You want anything, Cap?
Nope, I'm working on my tattoo design. So I would
Sweet.
like for someone to come in here and kill me before I have to do all this scale detail.
Sweet. I will do that in a moment.
Thank you.
Papa, I was going to ask you, are you an X-Men fan?
I am.
So I was thinking about it in terms of the things I know about you, and I guess. Are you a Piota fan?
Not. I'm embarrassed to say that I actually a lot of comics. Kind of a daunting thing to get into. I've read more
Okay.
Deadpool than anything else.
Oh boy, I haven't read any Deadpool.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, it occurred to me that, like, I was thinking about it. It's like, wow, a serious tank, whose other main attribute, accomplished artist. It's like,
How do I spell this guy's name?
Colossus.
Colossus. Yeah.
Piotr Rasputin.
Then yes, I am a fan.
I'm just curious because he
I didn't know he was an artist.
Oh yeah, Yeah, they haven't been playing it up recently, but that's always been one of the big things with the character. There was a point where they all lost their memories and had to live lives without their powers. He became a very well regarded artist in New York for a while.
Hella.
So some of his stuff is actually in museums. They've shown it at times. So, but
Yeah, you should message me your favorite run of comics with him that you've read, and I'll give it a try.
well, I usually go all the way back to the Dark Phoenix saga. I mean that's really good stuff.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all too many X-Men things rush too fast headlong into the Dark Phoenix shit.
Yeah.
You can't just rush into that. You gotta give Jean Grey a lot of time to breathe.
True. I'm trying to think of the best story arcs for Peter. I mean, it's like I've always been like a Peter and Kitty fan. You know, even when it was seriously inappropriate. Of course, I was very young at that time too. So.
Mm.
Well, I mean, Professor Xavier was trying to get with Jean Grey for the longest time, but thought that he shouldn't. Not because that she was a student, not because she was like half his age, but because he was in a wheelchair.
Seriously, that must have been
casual ableism.
Mm-hmm.
that must have been like before the whole Delandra arc.
Oh no, that is at the very original outset. Like issue 1 of X-Men, The Amazing X-Men, includes Professor Xavier being like, "Oh no, I can't date this student. She was 16 at the time. She'd never love me because I'm in a wheelchair."
Oh, that's so creepy.
It's so fucking creepy, dude.
I always liked the Xavier Delandra thing. That was pretty cool. They probably did it to avoid the creep.
Welcome back.
Woo!
Actually, even in the first X-Men movie, I think Peter as a student doing a drawing and someone jumped over him or something like that. That was the only thing you saw.
Clementine, you get brought to a sort of arboreum. It's a place filled with all sorts of amazing trees and plants and things, and the person who is in charge of your sort of department is an elf, and she explains that there are a lot of things that we can synthesize, but quite frankly, there are some things that the plants do better than the machines.
I couldn't agree more.
And yeah, you get to work. You're watering plants, learning about these plants, how to care for these plants, harvesting useful things from these plants.
This is awesome.
As a druid, this is super easy for you. It's kind of almost mundane. A lot of the people sort of marvel at your work because you can just sort of they've got to use all of these sort of invasive instruments to get what they're looking for, and sometimes you definitely have to use the instruments as well, but instead of getting at it, they just sort of give it to you.
You just have to ask nicely.
And they're like, "Unfortunately, we don't speak plant." And you're like, "Well, that's fucking stupid."
She doesn't say it quite like that, but that's what she's definitely thinking.
Right.
So the unfortunate thing for Salandra is that at this point, she doesn't want to, but she finds some of the stuff interesting. This is, so Salandra is kind of a book geek, so she
giant library. She must be in heaven.
Well, she just found out that her mother was definitely dead after holding out hope that she might be alive. So not exactly heaven.
Fair.
But it is it is a distraction.
Hoping
Yeah,
against
Clementine's
hope.
like, oh man, I was expecting us to have to like fight our way through here. This is a very nice reprieve.
Oh no, if you came here to fight, you'd all just lose. Sorry, you guys can't fight destroyer cannons.
We cannot. Clementine will ask somebody how to smile at her friend with the headband.
They see how quickly you're working, and they're more than willing to give you a hand. Some hapless human is just like, oh, you just do that.
Wait, can you show me again, but slowly?
Show me again, but very slowly. So he does it again, and he's like, oh, hey, this isn't. Give me a second. Like he has a more sort of sophisticated device, but this is like, you know, the baby bones version, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, could you hand me that for a second? And he puts it on, and he's like, oh shit, you fucked this up. So what did you do?
I smiled at it.
And the thing is, like, he got it to work once, but while it was on your head and he tried to make it work again slowly that you could learn, it didn't work. Clem, he looks at you and he's
Gaia
like,
fucking with this?
what?
Is Gaia fucking with it?
He looks at you and says, I think you've got gremlins.
Oh. Okay.
Clementine, mark somewhere on your sheet that you have rank 4 gremlins. 4 is as high as it can go. There is a very large chance that if you're trying to use technology for your benefit, things will go poorly. Glitches, random errors, memory buffer overloads, all of these things are at constant risk while you're handling them.
I will add this to my feats and special abilities. Well, thank you for trying. I will just get back to playing in the dirt.
Yeah, Rivo and Grub finish first. Rivo, Grub sends you a message that's like, this place is fucking awesome. Do you want to go grab something to eat?
I guess so. Is it talking to me or is it typing to me?
It's typing to you.
Did anybody tell me I was done?
Yes. You finished before everyone else just because your task is suited to you so easily, and yeah, no, you put them to shame.
And this thing doesn't tell me where to go?
It doesn't tell you where to go afterward. But if you tell Grub that... You did tell Grub that you wanted to hang out and grab something to eat, right?
Have I figured out how to type on it?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Got it. He suggests a place because he looked up in an index a list of eateries and food dispensaries, and you take your first glance outside in the grand world. What the? No, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go.
Hey, what was the whole password, guys?
I'm not telling you.
Lovely Whizzlebang.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You take a step outside, and you realize you are in a bunch of domes.
Oh. I think I recognize
Well,
that.
I keep my head down because I know I can't hit anybody. Anything that I do will go back on the blind dude. So I just try to figure out where the hell Pilot is and get to him.
Yeah. You get he like leaves a ping, which basically leaves a sort of like breadcrumb trail through the crowd. Like even in a domed city like this, there's still crowds. There's still people going about doing their business, doing. It's difficult to describe the commerce that goes on because no coin is being exchanged. It's strange, but you can tell that like despite the fact that this is a vastly technologically advanced civilization, like things, they're kind of normal people.
So it's not. Is it like weird like the bazaar in Valerian?
Valerian?
Tarai. The movie. You didn't see that?
I didn't see that.
Okay. How about the cruise ship on the Fifth Element?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So Rye would kind of just keep his chin down and
Even the
ignore
taverns are fucked up here. They're all
Wow.
sterile. Unfortunately, they don't have any actual alcohol. They have synthahol.
I'm not looking to get drunk. I'm looking to get stuffed.
Sounds good. Like, Grub points out the sort of food replicators that they have and teaches you how to use them. You can make basically anything you want, and you can make it taste like however you want. So, like, texture and flavor, all of that is yours to futz with. The owner is a human, and like he's watching you guys futz with the I say owner, like he's just taking care of the place. There's a lot of collectivization up here. There's not a lot of property, so to speak, but he is keeping an eye on it because that's his task and that's what he's doing. Very much like you had a task and you were doing a thing.
And how long did they want me to work?
You had been working for about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's weird.
What do you mean?
Well, with Connor, you didn't put in anything less than 12.
Exactly. But 4 was sufficient based on your workload. You definitely don't understand the math of it.
He's going to be reticent to use the machine until he sees that Grub has food that looks good and he's hungry.
Got it.
And then he'll order as much as the machine will spit out at him.
You fill your tum-tum. It's delicious. That being said, like, it's missing something. Like, when you ate something delicious from down below, you understood that it was delicious because, like, somebody made it purposefully with a lot of skill and care in order to properly make it right. This is just a machine that says, we got delicious, not so delicious, sour, bitter, etc., etc. It's missing something, but hey, whatever, it's good enough. It's food in your belly, and it's better than slop.
I haven't had a conversation with the pilot yet, and I'm not looking to break that record. So,
I mean, he starts talking to you about shit you definitely wouldn't give a fuck about. He talks about all the machines that he's learned about and all the shit that he's done, and you realize he probably called you in because he knew that you would be the best at tuning him out. In a rare show of social prescience, he has brought along someone who gives so little fucks that he can just go.
I nod and grunt.
Perfect. That's all he wants.
People still there?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. I just had literally just plugged my iPad in, and it's like all of the sound stopped.
Ugh.
What is the general fashion like?
The general fashion is robes. Lots of robes.
Oh, boring.
Yeah.
Looking
no.
for skin, lots of skin. Nope.
Sorry. There's lots of robes. There are occasional sort of token guards in the street. They're sort of like more affable than anything, because like who the fuck is gonna break the law when the penalty is so severe? And like, make no mistake, there's a whole lot of I bite my thumb at you, sir shit going on behind the scenes. Rivo, you've got a good perception and sense motive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely catch sort of little incidences between sort of individuals who are offending each other, and they can't let that sort of descend into violence, and so it's a matter of who can infuriate whom, you know? It seems almost childish until you realize like there's no other way for them to sort of vent their aggressions toward each other. The closest thing you're gonna get are like snide messages written in the newspaper.
So in other words, you're saying this is a place where sarcasm is a much appreciated art form?
Oh my god, you have no idea. Sarcasm is your sword in the streets, because your sword has to remain at home or on your ship. And I mean, like, definitely, the Chosen definitely sort of challenge each other to duels, but those duels have to take place outside of the dome. They have to take place under the clouds. They have to take place somewhere that's not the city. And most people who are strong enough to do that do it ship to ship. And people who can't afford to do that are stuck, you know, debating until their faces turn blue. God damn it, Clementine. Make a wisdom roll.
I'm sorry, I just genuinely can't remember.
You stupid asshole.
Just flat wisdom.
Yep.
17.
17. Okay. All right. Gemma wanted to awaken the dragons. Kira
okay,
wanted
that
to
point. Gotcha.
rally the cities. Marduk wanted to collect the keys and open up the wish thingy. Fuck. What was Dogo's? Do you remember?
I don't remember what Dogo's was.
Fuck.
I
Dogo-
remember the dragons.
I do remember what Dogo's was.
What was it?
About to say.
He wanted to contact the Byaki, or the equivalent, the creators of the city, the sort
architects.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I mean,
okay.
like, yeah, Clem, you send a message to Solandra that was like, what was Dogo's plan? And Solandra, you send back something surreptitious that's like, contact the architects. Or
Gotcha.
something. And like, despite this message is cryptic, it may be above suspicion, though certainly not.
Solandra's starting to understand why Kira's plan was what it was, because it is the one with all the collateral and damage involved in her plan. It is by far the least collateral damage of any of the plans.
Oh yeah, like Rivo, you and Grub stick out like sore thumbs, and there is definitely some just off the boat crap thrown at you. Just like, oh, I see they're letting anyone immigrate into the city now. And, you know, like this group definitely starts picking on you and Grub, and like Grub is super shitty at like doing social things, and he's just like, whoa, hey, come on, guys. There's no reason to get upset about it. There's no reason to get sassy about it. And they're like, oh no, nothing at all, nothing at all. We're not. We don't mean to offend. We don't mean to impose. We're just stating facts. But yes, Dogo mentioned that the means to contact the architect was up here, but he didn't know exactly where it was or how it worked or anything like that because rules.
Singular or plural?
Architect, architects. That's a good question. Holy shit. Rivo, make an intimidate check just for like raunchiness. This isn't scariness. This is like,
Yeah. So you want me to use performance?
Yes.
Straight
That'll
30.
Straight 30. You put some stank on it, and like the people that you're talking to, like one of them like shudders away and pronounces an "I never," and the other two look at that guy's concern, and like they go off to discuss something else. Rivo, make a sense motive roll.
23.
23. There's something about that insult that struck a particular chord. You're not exactly sure what, though.
I think he's probably done it already.
Only because you guessed it right, you figure it out, and you're like, oh, shit. You guys are, Rivo, you wonder, like, you can't exactly put the pieces together quite yet, but you're like, oh god, that guy did fuck his sister. What in the fuck?
Well, I'm more kind of baffled by the fact that they could understand what the fuck I was saying.
Right. There's a lot of bafflement going on here. Bafflement in the air, bafflement in the food.
But I will kind of laugh and make eye contact with the other two as they walk away.
You give them some stink eyes, and they're gone. They boogie. I should mention, Solandra, you get no additional information. When she said she had to shut the fuck up, she has shutted the fuck up. Are you gonna do that? I don't know, man. I don't know. That being said, you and Clem finished your jobs like 5.5 hours in. And Grub sends y'all a message about he's grabbed lunch with Rivo at this place, and you push this thingy to follow him.
I will try and do this without blowing my head up.
I do text Gunner when and where. Route.
Okay. Clem, your HUD doesn't suddenly fail. Solandra, you get a message that from Gunnar that's just like, yeah, I'll be along in a minute. I'm handling something.
Good luck.
Unfortunately, like Gunnar's status as the man who is perpetually busy has not gotten less. Now that he's here, it's gotten worse. He had always previously had some place to be and someone to talk to and something to do every step of the journey. But now that he's back on his home turf, that has not decreased. That's only increased.
So I'm curious if I can find decent coffee and cigarettes in this place.
You can have some coffee and cigarettes synthesized.
Fuck.
That being said, like, the cigarettes do not actually have any tobacco in them. They're just something pleasantly smokable.
Oh, fuck. Alright, I stub it out. What's the fucking point?
Right? If you can't taste the cancer, fucking why bother?
Man, take the Nespresso and turn the saturation to like maximum. I want coffee syrup.
Ew.
If the spoon falls over when you stick it in, then there's a problem.
Yeah, this thing, like, what's that scene from Twin Peaks where Cooper has the coffee that keeps transforming into different coffee, and in one of them, it's a fucking, like, paste?
Coffee paste.
Delicious.
Bitter, bitter coffee paste. That being said, Solandra would probably accommodate a little sweetness for Turkish coffee.
Ooh.
Which is essentially cardamom-flavored mud. But, you know.
The name of this tavern that you are in is the Gray Mug. And, like, sure than shit, there is a mug. It is made out of an unidentified gray material. And,
By the way, how unusual are we to be walking around armed and armored?
oh, it's super unusual. Well, armed and armored isn't so, weird. Like, you definitely get some weird looks, but they understand those as just like, oh, we're looking at outsiders who don't understand what the fuck is going on. It'll take them some time to adapt from their fucking primitive ape ways in order to understand that you don't need those anymore.
Is Toby the only animal around?
Yes. Most people do not know what to make of it. You get the distinct impression that most of the people here have never seen a goat. Most of them have probably only seen it in, like, textbooks about the world below.
If someone looks, like, curious and friendly, just be like, do you want to pat him?
Somebody does pat the goat, and they're just, like, agog at just like, oh, it's fluffy.
Yeah.
Curious. They don't pet him for very long. They seem like almost scared of what they have experienced. It's like literally like a child petting a cat for the first time. They're like, okay, am I doing it right? And once they get beyond, am I doing it right? They're like, okay, this is weird. I need to internalize this.
And I joined the group at the Grey Cup. Is everybody okay?
Well, probably one of the weirder fucking days of my weird fucking life.
Yeah. How are you holding up with,
Trying not to think about it. Got a lot of shit to read. Magical theory to play around in my brain. Like, I can do that.
You must like that.
Yeah. Fuck, yeah. I do like that. I don't really like who I'm working for, but the work ain't bad.
It's weird though, isn't it? It's so interesting, but I know I shouldn't like them.
The fucking thing about the chosen, it's to a certain extent, it's like everything in your district, District 3, just writ 100 times larger. These people are so fucking privileged, they don't even understand how privileged they are. Most of them aren't actively fucking malevolent or anything. They have no idea that their weight on the world is as big as it fucking is.
Do you think they'll let us visit Holt?
Well, when Gunnar shows up, we can ask him. He said he was going to. He was going to look in on Holt.
Solandra, do you think you could do me a favor?
I would say anything, but I know how creative your imagination is, so I'll avoid walking into that fucking trap.
They're having you read books. I wonder if you could keep an eye out for anything to do with architects.
I will.
Dogo wanted to remind me to keep that in mind, and he's going to go quiet a bit, so it's
Yeah.
probably something important.
I wouldn't recommend talking too much about your friend. A friend of mine advised me that it might not be wise.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you already declared before the Emperor
Yeah, before
that
the
you
Emperor,
are
like,
the,
that I'm the
you're the
scion
scion
of
of
Dogo,
Dogo, so, whatever. That
Like,
cat's
anyone
out of
worth
that
knowing does
bag,
now.
but maybe the rest of you should shut the fucketh up.
Shutteth the fucketh. Grub, how are you holding up here?
Oh, this place is great. Oh my god, everything makes so much sense now.
Nothing too, overwhelming?
Oh, a little too overwhelming, but sort of in the perfect way. It's just, there were so many sort of like dangling bits, so many things that I had seen that I couldn't quite place. And now that I have access to all this, he says, gesturing to the headband, everything is able to just sort of fall into place. I mean, sure, there are a few dangling mysteries here and there, but they don't bug me nearly as much as the rest used to.
Oh, that's great! I'm glad.
Smack.
Oh, that should be a goat centaur.
Yes.
They're actually a playable race on Planescape.
That's cool.
Slick.
I think I might have maybe picked up a sickness here. They don't seem concerned about it, but they said I have gremlins.
Grub checks his little encyclopedia and he's like, ah, shit, yeah, I guess that's to be expected.
So I'm fucking ambivalent about technology, but Clementine is allergic.
Exactly. I'm guessing you and Gaia don't really get along with these things. I guess even what she'll tolerate, I'm guessing she's not gonna like.
No. On that note,
What do they have you working on? Oops, sorry.
Oh, I would just. Can someone help me work this food machine?
You're able to get it to work just fine. Basically, I'm going to roll a D100. If you roll under a 40, there is a mishap. Like under a 40, you get a cocktail glass filled with tentacles. Hey, it's technically food. Eat it.
Don't eat it.
Just eat it.
Are they alive tentacles?
Yes. I mean, they're writhing.
Oh, bother.
In any event, that's not what actually happens. You do get the requested food stuff.
Cool.
That being said, it's not long before Gunner comes in.
Clementine waves him over and then remembers he's blind. Hi, Gunner.
It's right over there. That's what one of you guys will say when you see it.
So Gunner's actually a relatively young-looking guy, right?
Yes. He comes in with his entourage, I should mention. He does not come alone.
Oh, the usual suspects?
Yep. Deaf and mute. Those aren't their names, but those are their primary descriptors.
See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Exactly.
Okay, monkey boys. What the fuck's going on?
We got you here. I get the distinct impression that there might be some graces that the Chosen could pay to you.
Some what? The Chosen? I missed the word.
Graces. We could pay you our graces.
You know that there's a pressing problem that is time sensitive.
Oh, I'm aware. But as you can see, he says sending you all a ping message, which includes a video depicting Emperor Aspartine saying, "In honor of our new esteemed guests, I'll be holding a ball to commemorate their arrival. The first new immigrants for a very, very long time."
Oh,
says,
sweet Elijah.
"I don't know what you guys are planning. I don't want to know. I do not know what graces you seek from us. But that would be a great opportunity to acquire some grace. Either on the dance floor or wherever it is you're looking for it."
Gunner, what the hell is grace?
Clem, make a sense motive roll.
You got it. Why? I don't even know why I bother keeping out this pink D20. Other than that's pretty, it just. An 11.
An 11. Okay, grace means something, but it doesn't actually mean grace. So what the fuck is he talking about?
I have no idea.
And he just says, graces. Our good graces or our bad graces. Grace. It's up in the air. It's all around. It could be anything.
Favor, disfavor.
Oh.
I mean, Solandra, roll sense motive.
Monster, don't eat my pizza. That's my pizza.
What is that sense motive? No. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Pure Lab is not being cooperative.
No worries.
It's okay. These things happen.
I believe it's plus 18, so that would be a 31.
31? You understand that Grace's is just his. He is saying the most nebulous, worthless term possible as a suitable replacement for whatever it is you want.
Right.
He doesn't know. He intends to not know, and he can't say out loud. So he's saying Grace's because what could the grace of the chosen be? Fucking anything.
Gunnar, is there anywhere in this lovely city of yours where we could have a private conversations?
No, it's specifically designed not to. You could dig a hole in the ground, shove your head in the hole, and someone or something would be listening.
What of our friend? Have you checked in with Holt?
Yes, Holt has agreed to join us for the ball. He will be the guest of honor, laying and rendering himself prostrate as a personal servant to the Emperor's daughter.
Does this involve having a bomb implanted in his throat?
It does.
Is there any mechanism for removing the said bomb?
Not to my knowledge. Not without setting it off.
Fuck. It's a good thing Holt isn't a lawyer.
Speaking of, I hear devils make fine surgeons.
Well, maybe if we amputate his head at the neck, he'll grow back the rest of himself.
Do not equip the head of Vecna.
All right, when is this whole thing occurring? We haven't received our invitations yet.
He mentions that the ball will be a day from now. So not tomorrow, but the day after.
Fuck. Time is flying. Wish I had gotten that star ring. That way I could dress something really slutty and still have the... still be as equipped as I am right now. Oh well. There's always other times.
Thankfully, you will not be required to go unarmed, as the Emperor is particularly sympathetic to your unique needs.
Oh, that's nice of him.
That being said, as for the rest of us, we'll have to leave our belongings in our quarters. Or at least well out of sight. He says, looking pointedly towards the haversack and the bag of holding.
Silly question. Is Toby invited?
I believe so. As near as we can tell, he's technically a part of you, so yes, he is permitted.
People seem to like him.
People are intrigued by him. That's not necessarily a good thing, Clem.
Oh.
There are lots of people around here who would like to have the one and only goat fur coat.
What?
Think
Gopher's not even that comfortable.
Think of the prestige. That's what's on the minds of most of the people up here. There are a lot of them that are humble and willing to live their lives, but there are so many clawing for the power at the top.
I thought they just wanted to touch him because he was off.
Some of them do, but most of them don't.
Maybe it's best to have him take on his other attribute.
Maybe.
Out of sight, maybe out of mind. Oh boy. Gunnar, where the fuck are we supposed to go when we're not at our jobs?
Oh, well, you basically have free roam of the city. Obviously, anything you do and say will be monitored. That being said, we have got a lot of fine museums, libraries, recreational facilities, and you have been assigned homes.
Homes.
And he, puts the thingy, and you have all been given separate dormitories rather far from each other in some sort of residential district. He says they keep you separated to encourage you to make new friends, integrate, and not conspire.
Well, since we're all in a polyamorous relationship, we can all crash at one of our places.
That's exactly right, honey.
Fantastic. I'm so glad. We could use some people loosening up around here.
Well,
He
I
says
think
that
that this-
as if most of his conversations, he expresses a lot with this emotion, with the gesture, with the look on his face. Just fucking believe me. He has had conversations with too many people for whom a risky sexual encounter involves socks on above the sheets missionary position.
Well, if we have time, I don't know about you guys, but I do want to spend some time in the library. There are questions that we might be able to find answers to. Now, admittedly,
Not where I thought you were going with that. Not where I thought you were going with that, Sandra. But I agree.
well, I mean, after we go to sleep, we'll deal with the other thing. But yeah, I think the library is a good spot. I think that you may have a friend who would be very interested in some things here, and who it may get you out of a certain amount of trouble.
Who do you say that to concerning what?
I'm saying that to Clementine.
Concerning Gaia or
No, neither one.
Alexander.
A friend of yours who may be a little upset with you at the moment might give you a little bit of it might give you a little more leeway if he could get even a fraction of what's available here.
That's a very good point. Sorry I killed your brother. Here's
Here's a pile of sweet fucking techno books.
From what I've seen of Alexander, that's probably not the worst deal in the world.
I mean, hell, just giving him these headbands, these headbands have access to all of the information in the libraries. It's just, most people enjoy having, the actual text in front of them. I should mention all of the books have been transcribed onto this shit that is just, paper, but, super straight. They lack all of the love of classic bindings, but, I mean, they are much more elegant and almost certainly more durable.
Now, one thing to bear in mind is that whatever we look at is going to be noted. So look at a lot of shit.
Yeah. That probably won't be difficult. I think there's going to be a lot here.
So, I'm going to spend as much time as I can in the libraries, and when I'm not on the headband, I'll do it on the headband. I'm going to be looking for a lot of random crap, and within that random crap, I'm certainly going to look for stuff up about the architects and the Dragon Empire.
Sounds good.
And Clementine's going to follow suit.
Grub says, hey, I'm gonna go, I got some plans. I got some things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun.
What do they have you do all day today?
Oh, tinker with machines, fix ships.
I look at him very carefully and say, just remember not to do your work too well.
No.
You don't want to make them jealous after.
Right, I don't want to show them up. I would hate to do that.
Mm-hmm. And Solandra's looking at him very seriously, because it's like she doesn't want him to. She does not want him to give them technology they don't have. Because Grub has the potential of uplifting their technology to another level now that he knows it. It's rather terrifying. And she looks at him and is staring at him in the eyes and shaking her head very, very. You do understand me, don't you, honey?
Yeah. Don't you worry about it. Rival, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Just hang out?
All the euphemistic talk is kind of just got him kind of rolling his eyes and shaking his head.
It's super
He's
frustrating.
he's just sitting in the back. He's gonna do what he's told. He's been given a place to sleep, and that's where he's gonna go.
Cool. If you guys need Rivo, you can send him a ping, or you can head over to his place.
Well, there's a whole section in their library, kind of looking at it now, written in your native language. If you want to take a look.
He looks at you, deadpan. I get off on the right foot. I've already seen what I needed to see. I know what I need. Do you understand?
Yep, I guess.
So the two of you make some intelligence rolls for researching in the library.
Okay.
And then make some bluff rolls to like try to hide your evidence of your research.
Gotcha.
Um,
Fuck you, pink D20. You're not getting rolled.
What do we do for our research roles? Is it knowledge arcana, or is
Just
it
straight intelligence
just
for like how to research efficiently.
Okay.
Like it's not about what you know, it's about how you figure out what you know. You guys are hopping through Wikipedia. You're playing the Wikipedia game. We need to get from persimmons to lung cancer.
How many int rolls do you want?
Just the one.
I only got an 8 for my int, but for my bluff, I got a 20.
So 22 on my int. Ooh, thank God. I was sweating that one. I don't know if I have any bluff or if it's even positive, but a 19 on the roll.
Got it.
So let's see. Slab. Bluff. Plus 0. Yeah. Even 19.
Perfect. You guys, Clementine isn't very good at researching, but she does a fantastic job at picking out a whole bunch of like weird books that would probably throw someone off your trail. Anyone who saw what you guys were doing would think that you guys were just picking books at random to be like, oh, look at all this cool new shit. Look at all this sweet knowledge getting drowned on us. That being said, Clementine, you do like have the unfortunate bad fortune to find a whole bunch of technical manuals on machines, and you understand that you have to read them in order to make this look good. And like, holy fuck.
My brain hurts.
That being said, Salandra, you find what you guys are looking for. The Chosen understand that the mountain was built by someone that came before them, but they sort of like dismiss them as like having left because they fled the greater threat of the Battle of Seven Winds, etc., etc. Like they may have made the mountain, but they were too fucking cowardly to stick around. Blah blah blah. That being said, what did you get on your research roll? You got a 21, right?
22.
22. You're reading through it, and like a very like old record, just sort of like a throwaway line indicates that like they were too cowardly to stick around, but they did leave a lifeline behind, presumably so that they could flee back to us, crawling on their hands and knees, fleeing from something else that chased them away in the darkness. What that is, you're not entirely sure.
So between either the lifeline or what was chasing.
Well, let's not. Salandra, this is some interesting reading, but she's not trying to react to it in any way differently than the other stuff. Her problem is that she does get focused on the whole research element of like finding interesting shit.
There are a lot of interesting books on like sort of like advanced arcane theory and especially like on genealogy. And just like I don't know how the races work because like you can tell there's a whole thing that's like you find one book that's like the descent into mediocrity or something, and it describes how it used to be that all of the chosen were ASMRs and they were sort of advanced races, but after a while between immigration that started to get bred out of them, and there are a lot of people who are upset about that. Let's just put it that way.
Even non-ASMR?
Yes, there are a lot of people who were born of chosen parentage, like mixed parentage, or perhaps they were born using reprocessed genetic materials that did not produce an ASMR, and they feel like they have been cheated from what makes them chosen.
Gotcha.
I imagine that one of the things that might be a little tricky from their genetic side is actually reproducing ASMR, considering it's more spiritual than genetic.
Exactly.
So it's not something that their science responds to easily.
So are they pretty much all test tube babies? Or
there are some natural births, but most people prefer to do test tube babies.
gotcha.
It's easier that way. Have you ever been pregnant for 9 months? It sucks. Fuck that.
Don't do it.
Anything
Sounds
about
terrible.
about the Dragon Emperor?
There is nothing about the Dragon Emperor. There is no information in this place about him. As far as you can tell, they don't even know he exists.
What about dragons?
Dragons. There is definitely a whole thing about dragons, about how, like, they used to, rule the skies, and they used to rule over the ground and the land as well, and the Chosen drove them deep under the earth so that they would never have to deal with their stupid, petty rivalries and incredibly dangerous games ever again.
Cool.
That's the long and short of it.
Sweet.
There's a draconic game that like you read in the histories. There was a game that like swept through the dragons like a wildfire, spread among them like a pox. It's a game where all dragons have a horde. They keep that as a matter of sort of pride, but one very esoteric tome describes that because dragons are so long lived, it's impossible for them to keep all of their memories in their brains, simply because of literally how old they are, and so they have to infuse they have to infuse the objects in their horde with memory, and that is what allows them to keep their knowledge and grow in power over the years. But a game swept among them where they would have certain treasures that were absolutely untouchable, and they would have other treasures that were meant to be stolen, but could not be stolen directly by any of the dragons. And so instead, they would hire or browbeat humans and other lesser beings in order to steal all this shit. And apparently that turned into a giant clusterfuck of dragons hiring people to destroy things. And like let's say I'm a dragon and I hired you, Clementine, to steal something from my rival, and I'm pretty okay about it, but my rival is a douchebag asshole, and I didn't explain that to you pointedly so that I would get you to do it. And then that guy burns your entire village down and, like, extorts that stuff away from you in order to get you to steal it back from me. That's an entire village that's been destroyed because of this stupid fucking game.
Okay.
And apparently that chaos in Bedlam was pretty widespread. And so the Chosen were like, nope, none of that, no more of that, nope. And being the magnanimous people that they are, they gave the dragons the opportunity to flee underground rather than be killed outright.
Oh, it's very thoughtful of them.
That's what the history says, anyway.
Yeah, essentially Salandra's looking at this stuff very skeptically. Well, the victors, or those left behind, get to write the history.
Exactly.
Are there any halfling chosen?
No, not many.
You're just curious.
Clem, it's not like a halfling to want to become chosen. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your race is naturally predisposed to not giving a fuck about this.
That's why she was curious. Like, doesn't seem very fitting.
Most of the chosen are humans, elves, half-elves, the very occasional half-orc, and some dwarves.
Cool.
And, of course, a healthy population of ASMR. And then, of course, there are a sprinkling of other more bizarre and esoteric races.
I don't think gnomes would actually do very well as chosen.
Oh, right. My bad. Sorry, I always just forget about gnomes. There's a shit ton of gnomes.
Being natural tinkerers and such, yeah, I think.
We're talking like 15% gnomes here.
It's a large gnome population.
Yeah, we're talking like 50% humans, like 5% elves, 5% half-elves, 15% gnomes, like 5% dwarves, and like, I don't know, 10% ASMR. And then a whole bunch of other, and then like, I don't know, like pad those numbers out a little bit, add a couple percents here and there, and then like 1 or 2%, no, even less, like 1/1000th are bizarre races, like tieflings or dampiers or hobgoblins or whatever.
Well, I guess we found some interesting things here in this massive fucking library.
Yeah, my brain kind of hurts.
Your brain hurts so bad. Kind of is an understatement. It's fucking pounding in here. Could you get some fresh air? No, you can't. You live in a dome.
Well, I finally got around to memorizing this one. Maybe it'll cheer you up. I snap my fingers, and I give I give Clementine dreadlocks.
Boom.
I like it.
Different hair color?
Shakes her head. What?
Prismatic? Snap my finger again, and I give her rainbow-colored hair.
What? This is awesome.
Just a little prestidigitation. I usually don't have it in my. I didn't figure I was going to run into many undead up here. Do you want to go back?
Well, we can play with it.
You can try cornrows too if you like.
Sure.
All right, let's head back to where we're supposed to be fucking going.
Okay.
When does Holt get out? Just for the party?
At the ball.
All right, so we have to get through another. Yeah.
Speaking of Holt,
Yes. You
you
rang.
have a visitor.
Do I now?
You do. Vildez. Like, you look up from your book, and she's just there, and you don't know where the fuck she came from.
Hello.
Why me?
It politely close the book and stand with, like, his just casually with his hands behind his back and be, you were the only other chosen that I know, other than Gunnar. I can't choose him for obvious reasons.
So you pick someone seemingly at random, a likely story.
No. You're the daughter of the Emperor. You seem noble, and you seem a good judge of character. I wouldn't hand this over to Doskius, obviously.
You're right. I am my father's daughter. So I need you to understand that if there is even an inkling in my mind that you are a threat to him or my people, you'll be dead before you can even consider the thought. You will perish before the thought is.
I understand. And I'm very literally putting my life into your hands. Do you think that I'm making this choice in error?
No. You're just
Very well then.
new. You're an unknown. I need to read you out. You'll find that I'm an exceptional judge of character, not unlike my father.
Well, I am here to answer any questions you would have, my lady.
It's time for Vildez to ask you a series of incredibly invasive questions.
Please do.
Like, she asks you how you lost your soul.
I would actually be I would be honest with her to a degree. I would tell her about being addicted to Giant's Heart and how that was going to kill me, and I was offered a way out by a demon.
Right. You made a deal with a devil, which cost you your soul. Very
Yep.
Faustian of you, Holt.
Mm-hmm.
And you're technically not lying. I am gonna need a bluff check, but understand that you're getting a very large bonus, or she's getting a penalty. Like, your story is everything she needs to hear without anything she doesn't need to.
A 16.
Slick. She's like, okay, all right, Faustian bargain, typical. Okay, so that's how you lost your soul. That's why you need that. All right. Okay, so you come up here with 4 friends who come out of nowhere, who join Gunner in his stupid progressive movement. All of a sudden, out of the blue.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We didn't know that we would be transported to the middle of the city. We caused something of a panic, didn't we?
No, not exactly. That's how it's supposed to work. I just need you to tell me, to the best of your knowledge, if
All right.
you or any of your friends, or if anything Gunner does, is a risk to my father. Do you understand that?
I do. You want to protect your family, and the reason why we're here isn't to harm any chosen.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just very protective of him. He's very old, and I want to enjoy what few days or weeks or months or years he has left.
Please don't apologize to me.
You've answered my question satisfactorily. If you wanted, we could have the Gigas implanted now.
Let's get it over with.
Sounds good. I'll do it myself if you don't mind. I'm
All right.
quite accomplished. It's really not much. Concessions have to be made because of the nature of your skin.
Right.
But so like, she has to make a preliminary incision on your throat. It's
Okay.
super uncomfortable, and you're like, that's fine. I'm used to bleeding. And she has this thing. It looks kind of like a hand drill, and just it plunges the little red blinking thing into a little pocket in your throat. And you can choose to use your fast healing to close the wound, or you can let her do a thingy that closes it instead.
I'm gonna hold on to my fast healing if it's all the same.
Sounds good.
Okay.
She sprays some stuff on your throat and says, "No, don't worry about it. I get the distinct impression you see a lot of combat down there. A stray lightning bolt isn't gonna set it off. It knows the difference between the command code and some stray bolt of electricity. That being said, you should avoid. If you value the life of your friends or anyone nearby, you should avoid having your body incinerated.
All right. Noted. Thank you.
If you die, it'll go off just to make sure.
Oh.
That being said, the trigger I will soon have in my possession is the only way to set it off besides someone trying to tamper with it and take it out. What I'm saying is relax. You're in good hands.
I know I am.
She says as she extends her hand for a handshake.
Take it.
That is a strong, firm handshake.
Excellent.
That is a very firm ASMR handshake. Good. We'll deal with the pomp and circumstance the day after tomorrow. In any event, you are free to go. And she gives you the headband thingy.
Oh, great.
This will help you contact your friends.
Is there a door?
She walks through a section of wall and then she pokes her head back through and she's like, this is the way out. And you're like, oh.
Ah. Okay. Good.
Derpa-derpa-doo. I'm Halt and I don't understand technology.
Magic and technology. Both
Oh
things.
god, this is the worst of both worlds. What's that Torbjorn line?
I don't know.
If you start in certain Omnic-controlled territories, he's like, this is my worst nightmare!
Yeah, pretty much.
What job is Holt going to get, I wonder?
I am her direct aid, I think.
Yep, at this point you are her direct aid. You're sort of to be kept near at hand and attend her personally and impersonally with lots of things. She doesn't have any sort of physical device that's responsible for detonating the explosive. Oh, she also explains that if she dies, it goes off.
Oh.
Unless she passes off those responsibilities to someone else. It's basically she's got she's basically always got the detonator on her, but her thumb doesn't need to hit anything for it to explode. She just needs to think hard enough.
Okay.
And it does take an act of concerted effort. She can't be mind controlled into doing it. That being said, make no mistake, Holt, this is dangerous.
Yep.
And it's something that you need to be very careful with. But don't worry about it over much. It's not going to go off on accident.
Okay. So, this whole technology thing, this isn't going to work out too well.
No, it doesn't. Holt, you have level 2 gremlins.
Okay, what does that mean?
Basically, anytime you try to use technology and it's important, I'll roll a D100. If you roll under a 20, you fuck it up.
Cool.
Just if you try to send a message, you hit what you think is the send button, but it's not. Or if you're trying to search something, you put Google into Google a bunch of times, and you're like, fucking, how do I find the thing? You're like a grandpa.
Do I have an objective arrow on my new HUD?
You don't have an objective arrow, but you can find things. Everybody has basic overview knowledge of everyone else. And if you look up Clementine Pastora or Salandra Atrial or Rivo, they'll be they're here, they're doing this, and this is a live feed of what they're doing.
Great, I look up Clementine.
You look up Clementine. Clementine and Salandra are currently together, and they are walking someplace else. And the arrow on the thingy can lead you to Clementine, and it'll show you the paths through the labyrinthine structures to reach to her.
Yes, please.
Clementine, can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Can you look up my mother, Atrial Vitalis?
Yes.
Read what happened to her, and well, since every freaking person in this city has access to that information, and it can be used against me, and it could potentially lead me into homicidal rage, I should probably know. But
That's a good idea.
Take a look at it before I do, and just tell me if it's something that I'm going to be able to deal with just now. Okay.
Of course.
You can see that Salandra is really, 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 really struggling to keep the cap on.
Keep the
Yeah.
rage at bay.
Keep her cool. I look up
Really?
for Mama.
So Salandra's mother was a spearhead for the progressive movement. Basically, the Chosen are fiercely divided as to whether they should keep doing their thing and not accept anyone from the lower realms, or integrating the entire mountain entirely and doing their best to sort of share their bounty with them. The conservatives have been winning out, like, for centuries. They're like, no, we can't do that. They're not ready. You know, their big thing is they're not ready now, but they will be someday. And we'll give it to them when that day comes, but that's a long way off. And meanwhile, the progressives are like, nah, we could probably handle it right now. We just have to be careful about how we do it. And of course, there are a whole bunch of moderates in between, but she was an incredibly powerful proponent for the progressive movement.
Progressives.
Right. She was a very big proponent for the progressive movement because she's like, yeah, I'm an immigrant. I came up here. I climbed the fucking mountain with my bare fucking hands. And I zapped the shit out of any Wendigo that looked at me the wrong fucking way. And if you're trying to tell me that I'm not good enough to be here, and they're like, oh, no, you're good enough to be here, but what can we say about the rest of them? And she's like, if you're saying they're not good enough to be here when I grew from their ranks, you're fucking wrong. Inevitably, after a while, considering her powerful rhetoric and her boastful claims of the nature and decency of the people down below, she was challenged to a duel by a conservative supporter. We'll just research his name real quick. Man, ASMR names are so weird. Tadran Valal.
Tadran.
And Tadran was like, fuck you and your bullshit. Might doesn't make right, but I'm going to put you in your place. Duel to the death, down in the sands, wherever you want it. And they had a duel, an assault that lasted over an hour, and he was the victor. He brought her corpse back, and her body was processed. And that's basically all you get from that.
Gotcha.
That being said, all right, Clem, you may continue operating the records normally. That being said, you understand that that's not the end of the story. Or you're not exactly sure where to go next. By which I mean, you have all of the evidence and you have everything here that to go on next, but you need to tell me what you try to do.
So Clementine just basically reads you all of that, Salandra. Word for word, she doesn't leave anything out.
If you think it's okay for me to look at it, I can. I just.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's very dry.
All right. So then, question number 2, Celine.
Oh, that wasn't what question number 2 was for me. I want to know who Tadran is.
I think that's not the smartest thing for me to know about at this point.
Maybe not. I'll look it up. Hold on, I'm gonna step to the side so you can't look over my shoulder.
Do you look up Tadran?
Mm-hmm.
He's just like a fierce conservative dude. He's like, as far as he was concerned, the people on the surface would only be worth rising after every chosen was dead or gone. And by that time, it wouldn't be his problem anymore. That being said, He did bear several children, one of which is particularly notable to you, Doskius.
Is Doskius
Valale.
fucking dick on my I thought it would be.
Whomstead of the fuck?
Whomstead of the fuck could have done this? Solandra just hears Clementine very sharply go, "What the shit?" Sorry, no, it's nothing exciting or interesting.
Oh God.
I can't help it. Sense motive. Oh yeah, never mind. It was like in the 30s somewhere. So crap.
Yeah, you understand that you're like Tajima.
Clementine found some juicy dirt.
That being said, Clem, unfortunately, you pushed the wrong button and you don't crash. You shut down your entire headband. It's gonna take like 15 minutes for it to start back up. I don't know what sort of doo-doo error you fucking pulled, but you rolled a 1 on a D percentile, so that shit is broke as hell.
She I imagine she goes to clap her hand over her mouth, misses, smacks herself right in the headband, and just cracks it.
It's not totally broken because the Chosen make things tonka tough, but this thing's gonna need to reboot and run a systems check and a startup check and a virus check, and Jesus Christ, you broke this thing all to hell. Sorry, Solandra. You'll have to do your research from now on.
Slander takes a look at it. It's like I don't know how to fix it. I know how to run searches. That's around it. All right, I'll look at. I'll brace myself and I'll look up Celine.
Right, I should mention that if you look up your mother, there is a flattering image of her delivering some fiery rhetoric at some sort of public meeting. She's got one finger pointed accusingly at someone and another finger pointed just sort of at the outside world, just you shut the fuck up because you're garbage. That is the best shit ever. There is no actual recording of what she said. You might be able to find some, but fucking she is spitting fire right now. And you look up Selena, and her last name is not Valel. Her name is not. She doesn't share your last name. She is known simply as Selena Chosenborn. And
so was she born by my mother, or was she just used my mother's material?
She was born using your mother's genetic material, and her father is Doskius.
Reynolds, you bastard.
Oh yeah!
I've been.
You were waiting to reveal that, you son of a bitch.
I have been anticipating it, frankly. And so has Solandra, because that's the worst possible thing. So of course.
So of course that's what would happen.
So is she biologically my sister, or is she just using the material?
She's your half sister. Woohoo!
Fucking bastard. He must have recognized me even.
Oh yeah. It's also pretty clear, in your mind, you make a cursory sense motive check, you succeed. You are pretty sure that Doskius specifically chose your mother's genetics just to spit in her face, just to be yeah, I'm gonna have a kid with her because she's super magically powerful, and I'm gonna make that kid the strongest motherfucker ever. That being said, it's also pretty clear that most people are not keen on using what's left of your mother's genetic material, because despite how magically active she was, it's disobedience runs in her family.
Yeah, that can't be true.
No, of course not. Not you, not your uncle, not her. Nope. It's not like you guys are genetically predisposed to disobey. On a genetic level. Your mitochondria shout "fuck the police" day in, day out. That's how they are the powerhouse of the cell. Anyway, everything about Selena is like super sterile. Like it seems as if she was tragically born without a personality. It's just like she was the final applicant in the Black Blade project. She was the last to participate before that project was discontinued. She's an exemplary citizen. She's a conservative. Dosky's daughter. Blah 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 blah.
Does it seem like she's an arcanist?
No. She eschewed magical ability to focus purely on bladecraft, overcoming her magical shortcomings with by entering the Black Blade program.
Interesting. So was she using technology? How was she cursing them in that way without her own innate ability? Was it the sword's ability that she was using?
That's the question.
Brother, you got any insight here?
I can't rightly say. Although he does comment, "Oh, hey, we'll be able to communicate with each other without anyone listening in, hopefully." In any event, I am unfortunately unfinished. I can't speak to the powers of the rest of the Black Blades.
Well, sorry. That was my me trying to do something without a fucking clue what I was doing.
No, don't be. It was... You don't understand, Salandra. I owe you so much. I was discarded. Had you not found me, I'd have never been wielded. And you can tell, like, to him, that's a fate worse than death. As a thing that cannot be destroyed, and as a creature that cannot die, being forgotten is, like, brother's greatest fear.
Are you starting to remember anything now that you're here?
Yes. Much more.
Do you remember the scene that I saw when I was under Whisper?
Yes. I was being discarded. Because the project was being discontinued on Aspertine's orders. I don't know him, so I can't say why he was having that happen, but he was the one who called executively for the cessation of the program. And I was the last one that was created, and I wasn't finished.
I'm hesitant to do research into how to fix our link. I don't really want people knowing too much. And again, I'm having this conversation strictly psychically.
Right.
Do you have any ideas?
I think if you can get perhaps some innocent research into the program might not turn too many eyes. Alternatively, if you can stomach it, if you can get closer to your sister, she might say something that she doesn't mean to concerning me and my kin.
Hi, monster.
My brother has brothers.
My brother, and I. I doubt they're nearly as amenable as me. I call it marred perfection. He says with a bit of a chortle. Brother can be a little full of himself, but that's only because he knows he's the best.
Well, one thing is that from what I was told about her blade is that at least your eccentric reforging gave you more of a personality.
I suppose so. Small blessings and all that.
All right, I will look into the Black Blade program when I get an opportunity. So
Sounds good. Those records are not kept in the search. You're going to have to go find the manuals themselves.
Okay. That'll be my project tomorrow. Oh, one last thing. Do I have any siblings who are not, who are in the progressive movement?
Nope. You've got two more siblings. One's another conservative. Another one's a moderate. You've got 2 more siblings. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, they're both moderates.
Okay.
My bad. They're what? Right. Both of them are half elves.
Any of them natural born, or are they all?
Nope. They're all test tube babies.
Okay.
Who wants to be pregnant for 9 months?
That's such a long time for
It's
a parasite to be in you.
So long.
I wonder if Colt's getting out soon, Clem.
Maybe.
You,
I wonder if we can
stop-
send him a message. You chatting with your family?
Just the one I've always had.
That's what I thought. I know it's not a good place to be, but
There are 2 others
if you
here.
need to talk about anything, we can talk, okay?
I want to. Oh boy, but I might have to wait until we're out of this place. I feel like I want to show any weakness here.
Do you want me to tell you what I found? I don't mind not telling you, but
You
I don't
found it
want-
about Taryn.
yes.
Go ahead. I have a feeling that I couldn't be more pissed off than I am.
It's Dostius' father.
Yeah. Selena's grandfather.
Yeah, that would explain the grudge.
As you can say, I'm holding my shit together. That's what level 18 Hex Storm of Vengeance. That'd be so much fun.
Isn't the name of that hex disaster?
Natural disaster, yes.
Natural disaster.
It creates a storm of vengeance and an earthquake.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You can
I probably
destroy
won't-
a city with that.
Yeah, I probably won't end up taking it because it won't be much use against things where I'm going to be fighting at level 18.
Right, that's the thing about it, Storm of Vengeance. Like, it's an incredibly powerful spell, but it's not like a combat thing. It's like a natural disaster sort of thing. Like, it's like the bad guy threatens to unleash a storm of vengeance on the city, and the mayor is like, "You gotta kill that witch. You gotta kill that witch, or there's not gonna be anything left."
Yep. So,
Dave, you're very muffled.
Oh, sorry. Maybe
That's
the
better.
mic was under my neck or something.
Yeah, much better.
That being said, you guys get back to you guys meet up with Holt, and you guys meet back up at Rivo's place. Grub is conspicuously
hi.
absent,
Hey.
but unfortunately, I've got to cut it here. So we will get to Rivo's bizarre anti-attraction to those attracted to him, and we will get to all y'all's plans, connivings, and conspiracies next time in the Septemport game. Did you all have fun?
Yeah.
Did you all suffer?
Not really.
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes.
Sweet.
I think this was a Salandra suffering.
A Salandra sufferfest.
Yep.
Salandra, you said you were waiting for that other shoe to drop. There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
Dud. In any event, for accomplishing the goal of reaching the chosen throne, you all acquired 10,000 experience points.
Ding 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 ding.
Ding ding!
Guys.
Holt, for getting a bomb put in your throat, you get an extra 2,000 experience points.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. There are so many ways for your character to die.
I don't like any of them, thank you.
Sorry. Don't sell your soul to the Demon King next time. The next time I run this module, I will make sure that one of my players sells their soul to the Demon King again.
It makes for a good story, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?